Pages. Interesting point this game. CWG got to choose their side. They picked red. What do you think about that, Sonny?
I think that wait, CWG picked red side.
Yeah, which is a
Uh,
bold strategy. I think blue side
yeah,
has a much higher win rate in this league.
yes, I absolutely agree. Like almost every La Liga series that I've cast, blue side has won every
Yeah,
single game.
it's pretty interesting. But it is the first time that we've seen two really top lane focused teams. It should be a pretty feisty battle top. Both of these teams seem to kind of ignore their bot side, so that's just going to be who can get ahead early, probably. So I think I guess T Money is heavily focusing the counter pick top. We'll see if he can do it.
I think that having such a crucial part of the map, having counterpick, could bring out the win for them. But obviously, it's like saying the side of the map matters so much sounds kind of dumb, but it's also a large part of like mental, like think like just like subconscious uh playmaking and like thought processes that
Hmm.
the human brain does like without even thinking about it. When you're on blue side, then it feels more comfortable the way that you're looking at your character, the way that you're looking at fights versus
Hmm.
red side. So I'm not sure if um, having the counter pick for top will be completely worth it, especially if say you have like a counter pick for whatever like priority pick the enemy top laner might choose, and you might as well just let him have that counter pick or let him have that priority pick a counter, easy day.
Right. Yeah, especially since you also are guaranteeing that you're giving them a potential 5 bans against you uh, before you pick your, hard carry of the game. And first pick, there's just so many strong champions right now that are like contested picks. So looks like the devs are starting out with the Jinx, MF Echo, and Thresh Ban. No big surprises there. Those are some keystone champs. It looks like they just completely ignored to or neglected to ban out any of DV's champions because he's just so strong on so many that it's really is hard to ban him out. I do think that the Shin is very OP though, but it looks like devs are respecting the Kale and the Azir. We've seen that out of Flash of Night a lot. I'm not sure if I would ban it, but hey, they did, and so they're showing some respect to my boy Bin. And then the Nocturne, we saw what happened last series when CWG got the Nocturne. So look, happy to see that ban. Oh yeah, Noah's not too happy about the Nocturne PTSD. And the Jarvan pick out of the devs, Giuseppe Hack, showing that he definitely knows how to play Jarvan. After 4 games on a plane, still comes up and just 1v9 to the game last time against us. So interesting pick. And they left the Akali open for Addy OD. I know that he hasn't really won with it yet, but he is very good on it. But it looks like they had the instant Silas counter pick, so they were ready for it.
One thing to note is that Aatrox is still up. Um, Shenban
Yeah, they did
from
go
the
with the
side of
Shin ban before the
CWG.
top. Probably a good call. I'm very scared of DV's Shin, so I do not blame them for doing that. Interested to see if the Nasus gets banned. I know that T Money does like that pick. The Set gets banned though, because we've seen what happens when he gets to play Set. Who do you think's winning this draft so far, or what are your thoughts?
I think CWG's draft is extremely stronger when it comes to like if either side is just left to scale. Of course, the devs have
Mm.
not actually picked support yet,
Mm-hmm.
so whatever they pair with the Jinx will highly influence what I think about their scaling potential. But
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to like early power play, obviously J4 very strong, level 2, level uh, all the way up to like level 9 ganks from the J4, and then Akali, of course, is a very strong pairing with him just to kind of like try to snowball the map.
Wow. Okay, so after all of the talk between these two top laners about how tank top laners are so cringe, and oh man, we should play only carries, we should have a fun top lane and actually keep things interesting and show our skill, we have the Ornn pickup from Team Money into the Malphite. They have just completely sold their souls after everything they've said, specifically from Team Money. So that should be definitely, everyone should make fun of everybody for playing top laner tanks. And then the Zillion support, which is probably gonna be pretty nice with the Jarvan and the Akali in team
I want to see
fights,
them pick
as well as the
Master Yi.
Jinx.
I want to see them pick
Ooh,
Master Yi so bad.
man, yeah, I think that Yi is so good into the Zillion. It just completely negates everything he does. I don't think that Woojin has the balls to pick it though, but it looks like he will be going Mordekaiser jungle, which is actually very strong in high elo. But we'll see if Woojin has the skill to pull it off.
I mean, Mordekaiser it's such a demeaning character to play against. Like, I actually played against one earlier, and it's like, I was up like a kill, 3 assists, like 2 camps, and then I still get clapped in the 1v1. I'm like, and it's like level 5, man. I don't even know what to do against that champion. So
Yeah, I realized that Master Yi was OP when I got level 2'd by him at my Gromp. But I don't think I've really ever played against a Mordekaiser jungle and been like, dang, that guy did a lot. But uh, yeah, and the devs have a lot of damage. I think Mordekaiser's really good into like a melee comp that doesn't have a lot of damage because he can just sustain everything. But there is some really good engage on the side of CWG. They can ult the Akali or the Jinx or even the Zillion to just keep them out of the fight, which is pretty useful. Um, or even ult the Malphite to cancel his ult potential for the engage. But I don't know. I think the Jarvan's gonna be really good into Ashe and Seraphine, as well as the Mordekaiser. None of them have any mobility that can get them out. So I think actually I wouldn't be surprised if Jarvan camps bought this game. I guess is what I'm saying because his champion is very good into theirs. And I think keeping the bot lane down is going to be a really good win con for the devs. But I think CWG has a sick team fight. If they have the Silas steal the Malphite ult, they got the Seraphine ult, they got the Ornn ult. I mean, it's Ash ult for the pick potential. It's going to be nasty. This is going to be a very interesting game.
it's really hard to like say who won draft. Um, of course, like a lot of the comps that we see are just come down to execution. You don't see one
Hmm.
team getting like, like Udi or Aatrox, Silas, like
Right.
Lulu Cog on their side like every time. So we'll see how much the Silas is able to influence the game, which I think he is like a very large part of their damage. But one thing to note is that they get so much value out of MR items on the side
Hmm.
of the devs, right? There's 4 AP
That is
with
true.
just one AD champion. So we'll
Yeah. So if they can pick off the Ash then and build MR, then it's going to be pretty easy for them to tank a lot of that damage coming from CWG. That is a good point. And I mean, we've seen Adiod's Akali. I think he's one of the more dominant mid laners. He's very aggressive, and if he gets ahead, it's very hard to keep him from pushing that lead. So I think that Silas definitely has his work cut out for him. And I think, I mean, from what I've seen, DV has just he's so good at like manipulating the waves in such a way that he can get roams off for free. So we'll see if T Money can match that or kind of figure out how to beat that. Because I mean, I know he's definitely a skilled top laner as well. So it's definitely going to be interesting. I think this will be a really good game. Actually, I think this is the only two teams that are really top sided in this league, and it'll be interesting to see which team can pull it off better.
so if you look at the client, currently Team Money is sitting on Mordekaiser and Boise is sitting on Ornn. Now, whether they swap or not, I guess we'll have to wait to find out. But
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. That is kind of a Woojin special of hey, let's pick these so they pick the wrong runes and then we'll swap last second. I don't think that Orange Jungle is very good. I know it's playable and I know it can work, but uh, and maybe that was the point is Boise picks Ornn to bait Malphite into picking top lane, and then T Money still gets the counter pick, which actually could be what that's a pretty valid strat considering they took red side and maybe that was what they wanted all along. So DV might have gotten baited, but then we'll have to see if what T Money can do with this counter matchup that he obviously thought was worth doing that for.
I mean, Mordekaiser just claps Malphite, right? Like that's just how the lane
I
goes,
don't
isn't
know.
it?
I think Malphite just cues him and stays away, and Mordekaiser just never gets to hit him. I mean, as long as the Malphite can dodge the solo Qs, he's not really taking a lot of damage. And Malphite just throws Qs until Mordekaiser's low health. I mean, that's just what that champion does. Um, so it should be pretty interesting. And I think also the Jarvan ganks. I mean, his Jarvan ganks with the Malphite are definitely more lethal to the Mordekaiser than an Ornn. Like I think the 2v2 is favored for the devs, but I mean, I don't really know what Ornn's 2v2 potential is. What was that? No. Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess with that we'll just go into our spectator delay, and we'll see you guys back in about 3 minutes. All right, so it looks like the red team here had some aggressive pings into bot Tribush, and it looks like Tyskool and Kuroi are on a mission to go and see what they can find, and they find absolutely nothing. Almost got a ward, so you know, worth going for.
Who
Malphite.
stands in that part of
Can we look at the
Fabulous?
Malphite and the Ornn real quick? Yeah, okay, we already are. We got a nice little dance off in the top and the two tanks of the team. Looks like it is the Ornn jungle too, so we'll have to see how that plays out. Let's see what if Joe's Jarvan is better than Woojin's wacky pick, which is you know, that's what Woojin's best at, is playing wacky picks. AdioD already got the all chat coming out. Let's okay. Uh-oh. And it looks
Not
like
feeling
both
too hot and sexy. I'm sorry,
both
man.
teams are
I hope that
starting
you feel
blessed.
better.
Yeah, R.I.P. Addy, not feeling sexy today. So it's very unfortunate. Well, pretty standard stuff. Both bot lanes leashed. And now they're just returning to their lane. Oh, but Josabiak already over the dragon wall. He is not letting Ornn clear for free. But I don't know if he expects the Ornn to be clearing this fast. We'll see if he can get there in time to smite that. He smites the Grop! Josabiak with the steal, already giving himself a little bit of an advantage. Now he's looking for a bot lane gang. Oh no, Ty is cool, not respecting it, has to flash, still gets knocked up. Gets the bomb, oh. First blood goes to the devs. Very
yeah,
nice
but they
play.
just blew 3 summoners for that, right?
Yeah,
like,
that was a lot of flashes. I'm not sure that 2 of them were
James
necessary.
and flash forward, like.
Yeah. Hey, you know, you gotta take what you can get. Looks like the Akali is shoving, and the Ornn just said, hey, I'm gonna take this time to get some farm. The sooner I get to level 14, the sooner I'm upgrading people's items, and I'm a useful champion. Meanwhile, top is, just top, yeah.
And because his Gromp was stolen away and he did not want to go all the way up and clear his Crocs, he's actually still level 2.
He is level 2. He's currently clearing Wraiths, though. That will give him the level 3 spike. Meanwhile, Jarvan clearing Gromp, and it looks like I wouldn't be surprised if something happens mid after that, after these 2 junglers. Oh, but AdioD with a nice ward on the Wraiths to spot out the Ornn. And Josabiak just looking to do a little reverse clear and clear back down. Meanwhile, Ornn thinks that Josabiak's going for the top crab, I think, so he just decided to give that up and go for the bot crab, but turns out nobody is going to the top crab. And Boise, no, just going for the reset. Looks like the bot lane of Red Ranger and Venom also got a nice little reset off there, but now their lane's a little bit frozen, so I'm not sure that they wanted to do that. Josabiak looks for the bottom crab instead of clearing, and it's gone, so looks like he's just falling back to the Scuttle Crab, potentially look for a bot play while Tyus Cool has no flash. Not a bad idea.
I mean, Giuseppe does have the timer on Boise's Gromp, so he'll probably try to take it like at least a couple more times after this.
Yeah, I would not be surprised. And it looks like Boise just said, I'm not going to contest you on that. I'll just take Krugs and look for something top. Danger pings coming out in the bot lane. Looks like they sniff trouble. Stepiak still posturing for the gank. TP used top for DV. And currently the CS is pretty equal everywhere except mid lane, where AdioD does have a pretty sizable advantage. Some aggression in the top lane. Boise looking for the gank on DV, but he's just kind of getting chunked out here. Meanwhile, Giuseppe Hack engaging on Tyus Cool, who he knows has no flash, but Red Ranger and Venom a little bit out of position for that gank. Bot lane of CWG just gets to walk away.
That was just a missed timer, and Tyus Cool, he shouldn't have walked up to get that ward, and we'll see if he keeps looking for these wards and gets caught out more, but I think that Giuseppe Hack right now does actually control the pace of the game. He has jungle timers in Boise's jungle, specifically for this bot side. Of course, you're not going to want to play for the Malphite, right? You might want to like try to keep his tower from falling before 14 minutes and stuff like that. But you're not really going to be looking for top side to get kills necessarily.
Yeah, I mean, the Mord Malphite, you just kind of let them farm it out, I think. Interesting little scuffle mid. Akali hit 6 and tried to all in with the ult. Blue Ignite, but Flash of Night flashed in the middle of the daytime to get away from that and live. So well played by him for not dying on that. But right now, there's actually a freeze on the side for the devs, and they are getting a lot of CS lead in the bot lane from that, just the pressure that Giuseppe Hack's been putting down there. Ooh, Venom getting a little caught out. Oh, Korai flashes and gets the kill for Tyus Cool. Flash of Night has not recalled, so he has no mana, and it looks like he is going down to ADOD. ADOD, you know, he spat on him. He let him know that he's not messing around. Meanwhile, Red Ranger just praying he doesn't get tower doved, but they know that Ornn's not bot lane, so no real risk of that.
And once again, Giuseppe's hack is taking away jungle camps from this Ornn. Very weak duelist, in my opinion, especially when it comes to jungle. Obviously, in lane, then you're able to kind of play around the fact that you kind of have to auto him in trades to try to win. So then, you know, minion damage and stuff like that will play into it as well. But when it's just raw damage, be damage, then I'm just gonna assume that Boise wants to play away from the Jarvan as much as possible. Try to hopefully get Team Money as ahead as possible. And
yeah,
Team Money's just put Malphite in the Shadow Realm and he's just running around.
oh, Boise ghosting into DV and gets the kill though, and DV did blow ult there. So very well played, nice positioning by Boise. You can see that he's definitely focusing on this top side while Giuseppe Hack's focusing more bot. He is actually getting Dragon right now, so they're not getting nothing out of it, but Malphite doesn't have TP. Oh, and it looks like Venom also used this flash down in the bot lane for a gank down there, but it secured them the Dragon, but not any kills. Jarvan looking for Gromp. They might be looking to push this under tower and go for a dive. Or he might just be looking to take as much jungle as he can from
might
Boise.
hit 6 off of this Gromp.
Yeah, meanwhile, the Ornn and the Mordekaiser take down the big ol' crab up top. I think, maybe, unless I'm tripping. Yeah, they got it. So they got Herald. So they are trading sides of the map, basically. Pretty interesting to see Joe focusing so much on bot side in this matchup. But I guess he just has his faith in his top laner. Meanwhile, Wujin clearly, or Boise is clearly favoring the top side. But now he's going to go find out that all of his camps are taking bot, so we'll see how he feels about that.
I mean, I don't think that he's really passing down here to look for camps necessarily. I think he's more passing down to potentially look for a fight, which might have found him.
I mean, he definitely looked for his wolves, but yeah, it looks like Joe and him get a little scuffle. I think he's just out. I think this chase is a little bit ambitious, but that's all right. You know, what's life without a little ambition? Now they get to clear as pink, and that's a nice little 105 gold swing in favor of the devs on that one. Pretty interesting how close this game is so far. And DV is looking for a roam with his ult here. Ult coming up in about 10, but looks like they're realizing that he's doing something and they're kind of playing a little safe. Boise just being a human ward. Oh, but he doesn't know. Okay, Giuseppe Hack ults. DV with the ult. Boise cannot get a second ult off, and that is going to be a kill going on to DV for VP, but Flash of Night gets him back with his own ult. And now Flash does die to ADOD in lane. But we'll see about this 2v1. Can T-Money, he's got the Conqueror stacked up. He's a bit of a menace right now. It looks like he gets out without killing the Malphite with his ult. So pretty much even gold exchange there. So they're still almost exactly even in gold as a whole in this game, which is pretty crazy how tight this game is, still at 11 minutes. Tyus Cool looking for a little Seraphine roam though. We'll see if ADOD respects it.
I don't think that he really wants anything to do with the Mordekaiser at this point in the game.
Yeah, that's probably true. But it
Obviously,
is Addy, you know.
Mordekaiser
Sometimes
does not have ult, but
yeah, the assassin brain sometimes just says go in. You know, that's. Yeah, it looks like he's just playing very passively, trying to catch the wave. Well, I wonder if this is a permanent lane swap or if this is just opportunistic and they're going to be trading back here. Because I mean, the Mord definitely can apply some more pressure from the top, or from mid than he can from top.
I mean, the Mordekaiser is 20 CS up on the Malphite, but like you said, actually, it's kind of like Mordekaiser ults Malphite and then he just kind of Qs and runs away, which
Yeah.
I didn't know that the Q slow is like so massive.
Yeah, because it slows and the K's too. It's really hard to hit him with skill shots after he Qs you. But Silas shoving into this top tower and Malphite's forced to go and catch the CS. And it looks like Mordekaiser just enjoying his time mid. Flash of Night going in a little aggressively. I don't think he can ever kill DV though. But maybe after a few of those trades, DV gets chunked out enough. Double bomb from Venom lands, but they don't really get anything out of that.
And once again, pings from Giuseppe and Blue side onto the boss side of CWG to try to take their jungle camps away.
Yeah, and they see him, but CWG's bot lane has no ultimates, so this is a pretty decent time to look for this. Their bot side for CWG is also just losing some CS to the tower. Joe gets the blue, and Orin's just forced to go back to his wolves. But even with all this invasions from Joe, Orin is keeping up in CS, although Joe is probably doing quite a bit more ganks. T-Money got ganked by Mom. Oh, mid speaking with parents, okay. Like a quick pause happened there. Flash of Night takes the Malphite all. He might have to use it to escape though. Yeah, we got the little lag spike from the pause, but let's see what happens here. It'll be interesting to see who ults first. If Flash of Night ults first, it's very possible that DV gets to kill him with his ult, but we'll have to see how this goes. Okay, he re-engages, ults aggressively, thinks that he's gonna win this fight. Doesn't know that the Malphite is a rock solid man, but Flash of Night just Silas W's. Oh no, DV going deep, but Adio D there to clean up through Flash of Night's flash. Very well played by the rock solid rock, and the Akali getting a nice little kill.
The rock solid rock. Now that's quite the title. Put it down.
But it looks like in response, Red Team is going to be going for this dragon, but we got 2 teleports coming out from the devs. Looks like they don't want to give this up for free, but I don't think they'll be able to make it in time to actually contest the objective, but maybe they'll be able to get a kill out of it. The Ornalt coming in, misses everything on both coming in and out. Giuseppe engages on T-Money, but now he's ulted, and he doesn't know that he's trapped in there. Looks like the Jinx is getting a little bit excited here. Double kill for Akali. This is it's probably not who you want the kills to be going to if you're an Ashe or a Seraphine player this game, but I think that the Ornn and the Malphite probably don't mind that too much, because obviously if a Jinx gets some kills, then the tanks can start getting a little melted, but backlane is going to be in trouble this game from
At
this
the same
Akali.
time, you know, just like overall trade, right? Dragon for 2 kills and you get your own kill yourself. So, I mean, I don't think it's
definitely not bad.
too bad of a situation. Obviously, the Akali, 5-0, definitely a major damage threat, especially whenever she gets this buy off. But I think that having one person to just have to shut down very hard won't be too much of a problem for CWG.
Yeah, I think their team comp's very good at keeping ADOD CC'd, and once they take that shutdown, that's going to be a big swing in money too for the side of CWG. Giuseppe goes straight for that Herald though, so they lose Dragon, but they get Herald. Kind of the opposite of what happened with the last Dragon and Herald. We'll see what they can do, and if that Herald's going to be worth more than that drag. Seraphine positioning very aggressively. I'm not sure if the devs see this. It looks like they might not, and bot lane now has both ultimates, and Red Ranger's cleanse is coming up though, so this could be an interesting fight down here. Looks like they just kind of back off and decide not to fight. Meanwhile, DV just throws the Q and walks away. No objectives up, but Joe does have Rift Herald in his pocket, waiting to come and take some towers down. So once the Collie's back on the map, we'll have to see what they can do with that. Looks like Ornn and Silas both looking for this bot lane. And Akali has to clear this wave. And they have, if you look at the vision, holy crap, this is like, this entire bot side jungle of the devs is just covered in red wards. So wherever they go, whatever play they try to make here, they are seen.
Well, that's just really what you'd want to do after a play like what happened at Dragon. Obviously, you'd lose more members, but in the aftermath, then after resets, then the devs actually, majority of them rotated up to Herald, so then it gives a lot of pressure relief to allow CWDs to just walk in and get deep wards. They know that Giuseppe has been trying to gank bot as much as possible, play bot side, just leave top alone. So,
however, he is going for this lane gank, but it looks like they saw him.
Yeah.
Okay, he's just going for the Herald drop and drops his flag just for the attack speed, so he's not really looking to go in here. But Ornn's there to defend it, and they don't get too much out of that. Kind of interesting. I would have liked to see them hold that. Now Mordekaiser pulling a page from Joe's handbook and taking his blue buff. And they see Joe on the red, so they know there's no real threat. And Boise actually looking to contest, but Adio D, he says, no, you do not. Oh, goes through him. Okay, maybe this assassin's a little stronger than I thought. Even through the exhaust, he one-shots the Ornn. The Jinx ult comes through, but doesn't do much. And Flash of Night forced to steal the Akali ult and dash out. Very well played.
That's not a very tanky Ornn yet, right? He only has Sunfire Aegis completed. He has armor boots versus an AP assassin who's 5-0, has Mythic completed through the Proto Belts, you know, Sork shoes, and has started building into their second item. So
yeah, a little bit rough to take that fight. But yeah, it looked like, I think Boise thought that he could get something out of there, and instead he just gets a gray screen. Meanwhile, Joe says, yeah, I'll take your Wraith while I'm at it. Looks like he even left a little one. Yeah, he's real scumbag moments right here.
If I'm honest,
no man's soul.
I'm glad that they're changing that part of the jungle when it comes to counter ganking. The rest of it, where it's like you do less damage to enemy jungle camps, I don't like that. But having the mini jungle monsters die, I think that's a healthy part. Or a healthy change.
It is pretty annoying to go find your wraiths and find that there's just one little one standing there laughing at you, and you have to kill it and wait another 2 minutes 15. You know what, Kura, I don't know how to say that freaking name. Kuroi takes the blue buff from their own Ornn, so she says this will be more valuable on me. We'll see what Ornn has to say.
I think it's really just the problem of securing it for your team at this point. Not necessarily that is on the Ashe of all people. It's more of just being like, okay, somebody on our team killed our blue buff this time.
Better on the Ashe than on the Jarvan, I guess. Looks like a lot of action for this dragon. Mordekaiser's pushing top, but he does have the TP ready. So he's gonna, the longer this takes, the more Mordekaiser gets out of this. And I think the blue side kind of realizes that and says, let's just not let it take long then, and go straight in. Oh no, Malphite actually TPing out right before the engage from Boise and the Ashe ult. Okay, that's a very nice Ornn ult, but they do secure the dragon. But now this fight looks like it might be a little... Okay, the Zillion ult goes on to Giuseppe Hack after he's out. Very unfortunate. Now it looks like Flash of Night is thirsty for this Giuseppe Hack kill, but I'm not sure. Okay, he looks like he's not stopping. So Joe does get out. Malphite left top lane. Mordekaiser did blow his teleport there too, so kind of funny to see the... Malphite thought there was just not going to be a play, so he teleported out, well, right as Mordekaiser teleports in. But now the pressure in the towers is actually in the favor of the blues, of the devs. While Giuseppe Hack and Akali, ADOD, they just try desperately to hold the 5 members of CWG back from these towers. And I think they push a little faster than a solo Malphite does.
Just a little bit, for sure. I think it's the additional Ashe that they have.
Yeah, I think it was the blue buff actually. That's what happened.
Yeah, it's probably the blue buff Ash. Um, so that is quite unfortunate to see DB4 TP away right before the play happens, right as Ornn
Just right as the
calls
Ornal
the
comes in.
horn.
I mean, it was still a pretty good trade. It was kind of the opposite once again of what we saw last time, where this time the devs get the dragon, um, and they lose 2 members for it, which not the end of the world. And now Red Ranger does take that dragon, and they're starting Baron up, but it looks like the CWG, they're smelling it and they're not liking it. So I'm not sure they can finish this, and they should probably just fall back before it becomes a leash. Ash ult is thrown, but pretty low cooldown, not a big risk to have that down. And the Sylas takes the Malphite ult, so we'll see if they can do something with that before that runs out. They might get a chance pretty quick here with the Mordekaiser and Sylas both looking. But looks like Joe and Venom both recalled, so it's kind of risky to be out on the map for the other members of the devs right now.
Level 11 for Ornn, just a few more levels and he'll be able to start putting on improved items for his teammates. And then that's when the real scaling starts happening. You need it. We're gonna need to see a lot of damage coming out of this Sylas. Really, obviously the Mordekaiser is able to be a huge issue, but I don't really see like hyper carry potential out of him with especially against the kind of team that the devs have drafted, right? A lot of move speed, a lot of disengage through the Zillion, the Jinx. So we'll probably be seeing the Sylas do a lot of work in these team fights.
Yeah, and Tyus Cool got caught out there, but he throws his ultimate and no longer is caught. And then Giuseppe Heck and AdioD forced to just walk away before they get collapsed on.
Just trading an ult for an ult, but of course it probably won't matter, but J4 ultimate does have like 10 seconds, 15-second less cooldown than the Seraphine.
Yeah, so that's a big window for them to play around. We'll see if they take advantage of that. It's like now Flash of Night taking the blue buff from the devs for themselves. But there's so much red vision. I feel like this whole map is always just lit up with red wards and not much blue wards to be seen. And if you look at kind of the vision scores on the teams, that kind of tells the whole story. Malphite ults in very aggressively. Giuseppe Hack though over the wall is able to land on Kroy, but Kroy flashes over the wall. Now Adio D's here though. Giuseppe Hack gets the Zillion ult on himself, but it looks like he's not gonna go down with it up. Or is he kind of just getting shot up with the Gatling gun as Timony tries to get something, and Akali gets the quadra kill. Who stole the Pinta? I didn't see it. And now that's a freed Baron for the devs, and that
looks so good for CWG. It looks so good.
I don't know, did it? I mean, it was kind of just a Malphite ulting in and then Jarvan over the wall. It looked like it could go in either way. I will agree with that, I guess. And then the Akali showed up, and then it got real rough real quick.
The moment that I see a tank go in like that, where his team's like nowhere to be seen, I immediately just assume that the other team's gonna win. But of course, that was not the case. Having a lot of value through their now 10-0 Akali, and the thing is that the Mordekaiser just keeps ulting the Malphite, and I don't think that's the target that you really want to be ulting away, right? You want to be ulting away the Jinx, maybe even the Akali, depending on how much HP she's at already. But
Jinx getting caught out for the red buff. Venom even flashes to try to ult, but it's too late. But now the rest of the devs are here, and they are not too happy that the Jinx is down, and the Akali, they realize how many resources were blown, and they said, hey, we still have another carry, by the way, and they just showed CWG that they cannot get away with messing with whoever their bot laner is. I don't remember their ADC's name, but
Red Ranger.
Who? They just said don't kill Red Ranger, or you know, we'll kill you. And now they get a free drag out of it. This is very solid objective control out of the devs.
So at this point, the Akali is 12-0, has 3.5 items completed, plus boots. And the Magi Soul Stealer
with
that
25
Akali
stacks
bot has fully been stacked out at 25. So
Yeah.
that just makes the value of killing the Akali so much higher.
Yeah, that was there. This is the point in solo queue where you vote no and say, guys, we just have to kill the Akali, and deep down you know that you're in for a rough one. We're looking at a 6k gold lead. Flash of Night all inning on this Malphite, but
just doing no damage.
yeah, the Malphite just says, I am too tanky for you. I don't think I'm the target. I'm not sure when they'll realize that the Malphite might not be the one that they want to be using all their resources on. A little bit of standoff in the mid lane.
I'm actually so amazed to see how like little damage the full Silas combo did to the Malphite.
Yeah, especially, I mean, it's not like he's like stacking. I mean, okay, he does have a total of 3 Negatron close. The Ash ult gets thrown on the Red Ranger. Venom has to ult himself, but it lets him live for so much longer than they were hoping, and that it makes that just turns the engage around so hard. Red Ranger just getting excited, shooting everybody, absolutely deleting the whole team. Meanwhile, Akali and Mordekaiser just kind of facing off in the top, and that was it looked like it was a pretty good engage, but Venom just being able to get the ult off on himself just buys so much time, and it makes it really hard for CLEG. And once the Devils get 1 kill on the Jinx, Jinx getting excited just turns the fight so hard, and we're finally looking at that scaling coming into play. Looks like T Money just lost the 1v1.
Yeah, he got dove 1v1 while playing Mordekaiser.
Yeah.
But level 17 Akali, 13 kills, about to back, probably going to complete Morella.
Yeah, we'll have to see if the Akali gets through the banning phase again. I think it was pretty disrespectful of them to let them have it, but we saw it not be too useful in the previous games, but those were very different teams playing. And this time we got to see that you don't mess with ADODs.
Akali went back, sold Oblivion Orb, and just bought a straight Rabadon's Death Cap.
Yeah, that's and he also, there's now 2 stopwatches up for the devs, so I think this next fight is going to be a lot different than we're hoping. ADOD just goes in, turns gold to flex on him, and then says, yeah, Flash, you want some of this too? I got enough for you as well. DB shows up. Might be the end of Flash's career. Yeah, the Jinx ult comes out, doesn't quite get the kill, but now the Ornn ult coming in, and just 0 damage taken by this Malphite. He really is rock solid. And then he gets the Zillion ult anyway, but too bad he can't die because he doesn't take damage. So the Zillion ult may be a little bit wasted, but they do end up killing the Mountain Man while Jarvan comes in to see if he can save this to Akali. Simony did get the 1k shutdown there, but Jinx gets excited and says, yeah, you guys are all dead. And I think if they want to end, they can, but it looks like Red Ranger is not feeling the end. So he's just gonna push out bot.
Now, I'm not gonna say that they have a chance now, but that was a lot of gold that they just put onto the Mordekaiser.
Yeah, Mord got 1,000 gold, and Mord ult can do a lot in these team fights, but they are about to lose their 3rd inhibitor, and Baron's coming up soon. So we'll have to see if they can do anything with that shutdown. Akali just lost 10 stacks, and he's still worth 1,000 gold. So if they can get another 1,000 gold shutdown, but the super minions just beating on.
It's not even just about being stronger than you were before by 1,000 gold, but it's also that the Akali is now weaker than she was before, just because opted out for the high risk, high reward item of Medgile's Soul Stealer.
Yeah,
obviously
also used the
awesome item, but very dangerous.
Yeah, risky. But I mean, honestly, even having the 15 stacks, still pretty good. Still definitely strong. And now with Baron spawning, I'd like to see them just go and get it, but Joe has other ideas. He says these wraiths are looking mighty tasty. And looks like they're kind of jockeying for this dragon, even though it's not up yet. I think they could have just got Baron and gone for dragon, but I guess they just want to make sure they can secure the soul and not do anything crazy. Malphite and Akali just kind of wandering around together. The unkillable man and the woman with the shurikens, ready to view the world. like this Dragon Soul is gonna go down. It's carrying the Earth Soul, which with 3 Mountain Dragons, which is actually just makes DV even more tanky. It makes everybody on the side of the devs just so tanky.
He has
And so now they're gonna go.
533 armor
Yeah, and
with
now
2
his
MR
shield's even
items built.
bigger. Yeah,
That's wild.
definitely gonna be hard to get through the front line of the devs, and the CWG kind of has a team comp that can only play front to back, so should be kind of interesting how this next fight goes. There's triple inhibs down, so I think with the Baron buff, they just pressure down. I mean, there's not a whole lot of wave clear against these super minions on the side of CWG, and we'll be interested to see how this fight goes. They have 1 tower. They'll probably try to fight under it and see what happens. ADOD getting hasted, but just kind of walks up and backs off. The Ornn ult coming out, hits only the Malphite. Meanwhile, the double stun on T-Money and Ornn. T-Money just gets shut down immediately by ADOD. He said, "You kill me once, not happening again." The tower goes down for CWG, and now the Nexus looks like it's about to follow. David just tanking laser for 7 minutes, and then also gets the teleport off just to flex and say still had all these. And that was a solid game from both teams, but in the end, blue side won.
A Kali gap.
A bit of an Akali gap. Although I will say that, I mean, the jungle Ornn was an interesting pick. It was an interesting draft strategy, but it does not seem to have paid off. I mean, I think that Joe really realized that he could punish the Malphite or the Ornn, and just absolutely showed him you don't mess with the
Yeah,
Joe.
I think that in a game like that, your mid lane, right, your Silas is really who you want to see doing a lot of damage. Ashe, obviously, she can do damage, but in comparison to a lot of the other ADCs in the game, then she's not necessarily a hyper carry. So
Yeah.
I think that you should be picking something like the J4, right?
Hmm.
Something, maybe a Trundle, Olaf, I don't know, that has very strong 2v2 duel, get the Silas as ahead as possible within 15 minutes
Hmm.
of the game. So then instead of the Akali doing what she was doing, it's actually your Silas doing it.
Yeah, that mid lane was definitely a bit of a whichever one gets ahead is just going to take over the game. So pretty interesting to see how the priority was basically for the jungles on who's getting weak side, who's getting strong side. Surprisingly, the devs really were focusing on their bot side this game, which they don't normally do. Meanwhile, Ornn tried to put most of this pressure on top and mid, but I mean, you just see kind of why Ornn isn't a jungle that's very popular. His clear's not great, and his ganks aren't much better. So probably better leaving him in the top lane.
So other than the Ornn and probably the Akali ban,
Hmm.
what other changes do you want to see coming out from both sides?
Well, I wouldn't mind seeing Kroi put on more of a hyper carry. Espe- Especially, I mean, if the devs are going to be putting pressure bot lane, I think that CWG kind of has to match that. And if they're going to have if it's going to be a Jinx on one side, I don't know. I mean, I guess the Ashe Seraphine is good if you are just playing for top side, but it just makes it so hard if the uh, front line of the devs gets really tanky. I definitely would like to see the Akali ban, and maybe a prio pick on the Zillion. Um, we've seen Venom Zillion, and it's very good, and that champion is just super good, I think, in these 5v5s. But
I
other than
think
that,
that
we'll have to just see maybe more of an aggressive. I really like Boise's like Maokai jungle, or like other champions where he can actually just be aggressive instead of just trying to power farm. Um, so we'll see if maybe they go that route. And it looks like T-Money did opt for blue side this game, so maybe that might help him out a little bit. We'll see if that makes a difference.
I want to see more hyper carry potential on the side of CWG. Obviously, like if Mordekaiser runs away with the game, then he runs away with it. But that means that he's like running away with the game, like
Right.
1v9ing type thing, and it's not really something that you want to play for. In my opinion, like every time that I see a Mordekaiser pop off in solo queue, it is literally just 1v1.
Hmm.
Just he's feeling himself, hits all of his skill shots, takes good trades all the time. I think that they need to either put their bot lane on a hyper carry, or Boise needs to play it himself, and then
Yeah.
have uh, potential to look for fights through uh, either picks or tie is cool.
Yeah, or maybe even something like the Nasus for T Money. A lot stronger, I think, against the Jinx. And it's more of, I think it's a little bit better if there's two fed opponents, because with two really scary threats, Mordekaiser gets a lot weaker because he can ult one of them, but then the other one still just gets to run away with the fight while Mordekaiser deals with whoever he has in the Shadow Realm. So I think that, you know, I don't know. I'm interested to see how they react, and I think that CWG can definitely bounce back from that. They had very even game early game until the Akali started popping off in those team fights. So we'll have to see what they can do this time to kind of punish that a little bit more and turn it around. But if they ban the Akali, I think they're gonna face the Twitch, and I don't think they'll like it. That's all I'm gonna say. With that, I will be right back in about a minute.
We're back with a draft of game 2, game 1 going over to the devs. CWG losers pick, right? So CWG did choose blue side this time. Maybe just wanting to switch it up, thinking that the counter pick top is not at all worth it. So already Echo MF ban coming out from CWG, and the Kale and Nocturne mirror bans from last game coming out from the devs. And what I'd like to see in draft is banning Akali. Okay, we'll see if they leave that open. Of course, there are champions that are able to bully it quite a bit, and there it is. Third ban in the first round of bans from CWG. Akali does get banned away from Addy. Thank goodness, he looked extremely good on that champion. Like my co-caster was saying, he hasn't won on it a lot, but it has been common knowledge that he's very good on the pick.
Yeah, now I am afraid for CWG. I think they're opening themselves up to the Twitch mid, and I think you don't really realize what the Twitch mid can do until you have to face it. And then you're just very sad.
I
Uh,
mean, I don't know. I don't know if Flash of Night plays any like very strong assassins, but if I saw ADC mid, then I would just pick Zed. Like that's just what I
yeah,
would do.
yeah. I just don't think that there's minis. I think really ADOD is the only real like solid assassin mid lane player in this league, and so he kind of gets to get away with uh playing more risky picks like that. It looks like this
And
time Tristana for CWG and Ashe for the devs should be an interesting mix-up.
I mean, Tristana offers a lot of mobility and also kill pressure,
Mm-hmm.
offering very good pick potential post 6. And of course, if they do catch somebody stepping a little bit too far up, they are able to get a very good trade.
Yeah,
Just having
actually,
it on the board.
I think that Tristana is actually very good into Ashe too, but we know that Red Ranger has some pretty nice flank mechanics with the Ashe, so maybe that'll be the real game changer. And then the dev said, okay, you're going to pick Ornn after we all agreed that there was going to be no Ornn in our game. Well, I guess we'll pick Ornn this time. Then go ahead, you can counter pick it if you want. Good luck.
And there's the Trundle. I love seeing Trundle. Obviously, I'm a support player, so I play him support. But jungle being my secondary role, definitely think that Trundle jungle is very strong as well. Offers a lot of burn for the Ornn, even if he's ahead, right? You just press R onto him, and then he's
Mm-hmm.
basically like a bruiser versus an actual tank. And he also offers very strong dueling capability. And there is the Twitch.
Yep, that should be interesting. I mean, they have some pretty good champs into the Twitch, I think, so far. But man, if that Twitch gets ahead, it just is so hard to ever keep tabs on him, and he just opens up, and you get expunged for half your health bar. Um, the Trundle, we'll see if it's top or jungle. It's kind of a nice as a flex pick there. I totally forgot that you were a Trundle support main. I remember playing with you, and your Trundle support was pretty scary. So we'll see if CWG can have learned anything from you.
I think that the Trundle would actually be best being put top here. I'm not sure if T Money plays it necessarily, but having the Twitch mid, I would actually really like to see them ban away very strong junglers, right? They already banned the Kindred, ban something like maybe the J4, maybe the Olaf, anything that they might play to give them a very strong 2v2 and actually put Boise on something like the Rengar, something like maybe Kha'Zix. Uh,
Hmm.
just try to abuse the Twitch as much as possible. And
Maybe
then
even Master Yi.
possibly, yeah, definitely Master Yi is an option. That does, of course, matter depending on what the devs pick here. If they have like very good target lock CC or uh, whatever their next couple of or next pick is,
Hmm.
and then I want to see Flash of Night on a wave clear mid. Just be able to one shot waves, stay away from the Twitch as much as possible, right? Don't leave a lot of time for him to open up on you.
Yeah, or maybe even something like an Echo who can both wave clear and also threaten to kill the Twitch. But I'm not super familiar with Flash of Night's pool. I just know I've seen his Azir a lot.
Victor is. I could definitely see him picking up the Victor here. Of course, they did just pick the Sejuani, so he might opt out for something with a little bit more mobility. I think the Echo pick is really strong
Oh,
when
Echo's banned
he's
anyway, I guess. But
ahead. Oh yeah, they banned Echo themselves. Never mind. So they did
okay, the
actually
Vi
pick the Vi.
jungle.
All right, so I do like the Vi pick.
I think the Vi pick's very good.
Just get to abuse the Twitch at level 6 on our cooldown. So I do think that that's a very good choice by CWG.
Yeah, Twitch and Ash. I think it'll be. I would like to see CWG not focus top this game. I think that's the plan with the Vi jungle. Is you're not looking to kill the Ornn. You're looking to kill Ash. You're looking to kill Twitch. Maybe an Enchanter if one's picked up. And like you said, the Victor is pulled out against that Twitch. Let's see what he can do with it.
And a Mumu will be locked in.
We've seen Venom's Amumu. He's got crazy ult baits, but also he's just very good with the champion. So definitely should be good to see what they can do. Although the Morgana is obviously a very good pick into the Ornn. Or into the Amumu, rather.
One thing that I kind of was hoping to see was Ashe support. Um, Obviously, into Tristana Morgana, it can be kind of dangerous. Both
Yeah.
being such squishy targets. One of you guys gets hit by Root, and then one of you guys is going to die no matter what, basically. But
Yeah, I don't
that
think
will
I've
not
ever
be the
seen
case.
Venom play Ashe support, and we've seen Red Ranger play Ashe a lot, so I think that pretty safe to say that he was always going to be ADC. But hey, you never know. Maybe they've been practicing crazy stuff on their Smurfs so that we, prepping for this matchup. Maybe he's been watching my VODs and studying the Ashe support ways.
I do actually love Ashe as a champion.
Yeah, me
Just the
too.
fact that she can support. And there's a build that I'm not sure how popular it is, how many people know about it, but it's actually like Duskblade Manamune. And basically the build allows you to have like a 1.5-second cooldown on your W, and you're just
Mm.
firing them off instead of auto attacking in team fights, and you do so much damage. Like I've had Ashes build that and have hands down highest damage in the game.
Yeah, it looks like Kindred was picked by T Money there, so they have to recreate the lobby. Yeah, I think that the Ashe. I mean, I think Ashe support's basically there's a lot of ways you can get it to the really low cooldown Ws and like 20-second ult cooldowns, and it's just so frustrating to play against, especially if you don't have a lot of gap closers because you just get permanently slowed. We'll have to see what Red Ranger decides to build. I've only seen him build more traditional builds, and I think that's probably what we can expect. But
So when I'm looking at both of these team comps, I look at CWG and I just notice how much potential they have to just burn down frontline. And that's
yeah,
what devs kind of want to play, right? They want to play like front to back, look for a flank from the Twitch, while the goon squad of 3 tanks just go nuts. Of course, Trundle only works on one person, so that might have been a thought process that they had whenever they were picking. But Trundle is, in my opinion, whenever I was playing Sejuani jungle on my previous account, then one of my hardest matchups was actually Trundle, just because, oh, look at me, I'm mad tanky. I get an R key pressed on me, and all of a sudden I am not tanky anymore.
yeah,
So
I'm actually kind of surprised to see the Sejuani pick. It's kind of like a well-known Trundle is a well-known like hard counter to Sejuani. The way that his ult works with her passive, so kind of interesting to see that pick. I guess the devs don't respect the Trundle enough from Timony to or T-Money. So we'll see. We'll see if he can pull off those ults because that turns Sejuani into a paper towel. But yeah, definitely a lot of AoE CC from uh, the devs. So basically, as long as CWG isn't clumping up, the team fights can be pretty good for them. But as soon as they start stacking on top of each other, they're gonna have a real rough time in these team fights.
yeah, sorry.
Always here.
So I'm definitely looking forward to see how Boise plays around the mid lane specifically. Of course, Addy OD in lane was absolutely showcasing his mechanical capability last game. So we'll see if he's able to do the same thing on Twitch. But
Yeah, I mean,
I think
I'll
that
say playing jungle against his Twitch, he just never leaves his tower. Like it felt like there was never an opportunity to gank for him. I was looking for him, even with no wards up. They don't know where I am. He's just plays so far back on it, so it really is kind of hard to punish it. But we'll see if maybe he gets a little too cocky on this one and uh pushes up more into the Vi.
I do think that he will respect it, but I think that it's a lot of how Boise and Tyus Cool play around mid, trying to get like 3 people there. Definitely have a good ward coverage with control wards in creative places to kind of predict his pathing.
Yeah. Yeah, as long as they can get enough vision down, it is pretty hard for the Twitch to make any of those roams work out. And I mean, realistically, if he doesn't get ahead, it's kind of hard for him to do much. But I think we're now going to go into the spectator delay, and we will be back in a little over 3 minutes. We got the Devs 5-stack going in. ADOD turning invisible. What's going to happen? Absolutely nothing. Tristana sees it. They walk away.
Yeah, I was actually gonna comment before we went to break that I want to see an invade coming out from the devs, but of course they chose to the exact path that they needed to meet Kuroi as he was walking out, so nothing's gonna come out of that probably.
And the risk of that invade there is they now have no idea where the division is in their topside jungle, or if there is any. And as you see, Boise did go and get that deep red word because he saw them all bot. So we're just gonna have a little more info. Meanwhile, the devs will have zero info on where Vi's starting, other than I guess they'll see this leash. Morgana getting out in the river for a little stroll. Actually, that's a really good ward in that bot try, to kind of know that they're going to be getting possibly bush cheesed in the bot lane. But it looks like Croy just shows, and they're not looking for anything too crazy. And oh, Boise taking a page out of Joe's handbook, going straight for this red because he sees that he's not taking it. He says, "Oh, you're on a tank jungle this time, and I'm on a guy that can dash this wall. Okay, well then I guess don't mind if I do." He's gonna take the red, and then potentially just sit and wait and maybe take rates and see if he can kill Sejuani on the crossover. Oh, but Sejuani sniffing something out, walking straight past the wolves. Says, "I'm just gonna go get my wraiths, hit level 3, and look for something." But Boise might see this. Oh, he actually goes for the red, and it's gone. Oh, he casts his W, but he does see that it's too late. And now Boise's just going back down to his bot side. Oh, but never mind, he's going to his realm.
I mean, that's just exactly what you want to see out of the Vibe pick this game. Of course, probably going to end up pathing down to bot to fight in this 2v2.
Yeah. Little trade going on top. Oh. DB biting off a little more than he can chew on that one. T-Money hits level 3. Okay, but maybe he's overstaying his welcome. Giuseppe Hack got nothing to do other than come here and look for this gank. T-Money flashes and kills the Orin, but Giuseppe Hack, he does get the kill, but has to use his flash as well. Meanwhile, Addy looking for a trade mid lane. Gets full stacks on, but looks like his expunge is already down, so not going to chunk him any further than that. But flash top, actually all summoners burning top. T-Money used Ghost Flash, has no TP. Vi holding the top wave, but this actually might cost T-Money a lot of CS and XP since he does not have TP to match the Ornn.
I mean, that's what both of their top lane and jungle matchups want to happen on the side of CWG, right? You want the Vi taking stuff away from the Sejuani, taking her resources, and you want the Trundle to be able to solo kill the Ornn, which has already happened at 4 minutes into the game. So
yeah, that was
Vi
very well played
also,
with the lethal tempo.
Absolutely, and the Vi actually secures double Scuttle Crab.
Yeah, now they're looking to make a little play, but Giuseppe just defending his camps and then going for a reset. Very well played by him. But now Vi still has an entire bot side to clear, and definitely going to have the CS advantage. Yeah, Wolves are already back up.
They're even CS, and the Vi has only taken 2 of his own camps, so...
Yeah, that's actually... Oh, and Kuroi going in aggressive. Ashe forced to flash out and still almost dies. Barely lives with a sliver. Flash heal blown. Meanwhile, no summoners used for Kuroi. So very nice aggression. That's what you like to see with the Tristana Ashe matchup. Meanwhile, T-Money still just going aggressively into DV. Kind of has to play a little passively until this fat wave's gone. But Red Ranger getting caught out. Oh, that bomb might go off and kill him. Oh, it does! The tower goes pop. Red Ranger can't go anywhere. Too busy getting bound up. T-Money taking a little bit of a bad trade, but he says, I can keep going all day. I don't need cooldowns. I got lethal tempo. Very nicely done by Croy, and Ty's cool on that kill, though. The snare into the tower bomb was so nice to see. Like, you just gotta love to see it. And
this is exactly what you want to see if you're CWG, right? All 3 roles are winning.
Yeah.
Obviously, CS lead in the mid lane. 10 CS up for the Victor into the Twitch, which is...
Oh, up to 15 now.
Yeah, I mean, he'll be able to get there by the time that Cannon does, I think.
There's a good defensive word from T-Money to see the Sejuani coming, but it does not help. He still dies to the Ornn ult with the Sejuani there for backup. But the TP coming out of Flash of Night, very good macro to realize that he should go catch that wave and not let them get any more plates. Does give ADOD a little breathing room to get his ult and possibly look for a roam, but we see Trundle going mid to match, and ADOD might be face checking this Vi, but Vi's only level 5, so he definitely doesn't want that smoke. ADOD looking for it. Probably not gonna find much with this Vi. Oh, he's. I don't know if they saw him going into the wolves there. Oh, but it looks like there might be a little fight on this blue buff. Should be interesting to see if Boise makes it out of this one. Sejuani going up for the Victor, but spotted on the pink board. Victor backs up. Ornn has 2 waves to catch. And now this looks like Sejuani's now the one getting collapsed on, but Twitch does have ultimate, and I don't think they know that he's there, so he gets to open up from the flank, kills Boise, and meanwhile Giuseppe Hack is dying for his sins. Flash of Night flashes in ADOD, no sums, but he's pretty quick with that Q, so he still just gets to walk away. Overall, not a bad trade, 1 for 1. Sejuani needed a recall anyway, even though Soul Jungle's up, but Twitch getting a kill is pretty good for him. 2 stacks on the Darksteel.
And that was just such good patience from ADOD, right? He sat in that bush for so long, and he did actually see the Vi go into their wolves.
Ty is cool. Just looking for the 1v1, says, I'm not afraid of no Twitch. Rat has to flash out from the Ignite. Not bad. Nice roam from Ty is cool. Looking for that timer on the Rift Herald. And it looks like they said while your top side's all up, and they know Joe's bot side. So they're just going to take the whole top side and then possibly look for a Herald. Or maybe look for gank on DV. That wouldn't surprise me to see that either. They have the flank. We'll see if they want to go for the Ornn and then possible Herald. Looks like Ornn is none the wiser.
Ornn does have flash out, so he does have a chance.
He did use he used all of his cooldowns right there. So he's just gonna have to run down, but the Victor is also coming, and he flashed over the wall, but right into the Victor. Drops the ult, gets stunned. Can he recast it? He can. Will it matter? We'll find out here. Okay, so close to killing Flash of Night, but lives with 7 health in the 1v4. See if Twitch.
I love how tanks can do that much damage.
It's so stupid. Like,
it's my favorite thing in the world.
You know, he died, so I guess he's not that tanky. Oh, another nice classic Venom ult for the disrespect. Nice engage. Red Ranger, the jump gets buffered to get away from the Sejuani, but still they end up getting Kuroi and punishing the Morgana for being away from bot lane for so long. Well played by Joe.
Jump, but there's not very many places to go.
Yeah, he jumped right out of the frying pan and into the fire, so you know, not super fun either way. We are up one dragon though for CWG. They have the Hex tech. Meanwhile, no one is still taking that Rift Herald, so looks like that's probably what's gonna be contested next.
The Vi just hit level 6, has not had ult for any of these fights yet.
Yeah, Twitch opens up on Flash of Night, gets stunned, but Giuseppe Hack there shows up. Okay, but now Boise gets the ult off, and Giuseppe Hack kind of forced to run away here. Doesn't have the trading capabilities. Do a little bit of damage, but kind of has to walk away. Very nice hover. Vi showing up where he's needed to at least make the kill a trade. Ornn still just pushing top, saying, I want your plates. Interesting to see how long this Herald's been left up, but it looks like Ty School definitely doesn't want to give it away for free, so he is looking for to keep map pressure top, but now the Dragon will be slotting soon, and it's actually a trade-off to send to actually go get that Herald.
And the red ward, or like the pink ward in the blue jungle right now, that I'm pretty sure ADOD placed down has been there for so long, and
yeah, it's gotten a lot of vision.
They've been getting quite a bit of value on it.
Yeah, it's just one of those wards that you don't think to look for, and then it sees you 18 times because you're not walking in that bush. T-Money with the solo bolo on DV just walks up to him and smack, 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 you're dead. And now the Herald going to CWG because of the lack of top laner. We'll see. It looks like the devs want to look for this dragon though in response, so at least they're getting something out of it. Ash ult's up. Amumu has flash and ult, so they could definitely look for an engage here. And DV just TP's top to make sure that he doesn't lose too many plates or too much CS.
I mean, if he doesn't TP there, then you just saw how fast he took those 2 plates, right?
Yeah.
Like, he would just lose all of them. He'd just lose the entire tower. So obviously, it is a resource that would need to be spent, and the Des will turn on to Dragon.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Team Money might lose a couple plates here as well as some valuable CS, but it is a cannon wave, so we shouldn't lose too much. Dragon goes to the devs, evens that out, and 1k gold lead for CWG right now. No, Joseph Hack maybe going a little too aggressive here. Might regret this decision. His Q is down. Oh, it's up actually. I thought he just used it. So he just kind of gets out. Twitch no mana, can't really do much. They just fall back to your jungle, get some CS. Call it a day. Meanwhile,
I'm just kind of like sitting here waiting for the Vide to ult the Twitch again.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely want to be looking for it every time it's up, but we've seen the Twitch, I mean, playing very passively, not really overplaying his hand, so definitely respecting the Vi.
He wasn't able to do what Twitches kind of want to do, which is kind of, get solo kills, get cheeky roams. He was able to do it a couple times, and it has resulted in him having 2 kills, but the Victor's up. What is that, like 30 CS?
Yes.
Yeah, 30, like almost 40 CS.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I wouldn't say that he's as strong as the Victor. Personally, I think that Victor gets a lot more value out of the items and levels that he has.
Victor has 3 assists as well. Timony going for the solo kill. Looks like he might get shut down for that though. ADOD once again goes for the 1v1, just has to
actually it wasn't even him. It wasn't even him going for the 1v1. It's more of just him showing, and Flash of Night just kind of walked up to him and just started using his cooldowns on him, forcing the flash out of ADOD.
Yeah, ADOD I think got 1 wave on that recall and then had to go back to base with no health again. And he did blow flash there too, so definitely not a good time for this Twitch. Meanwhile, Boise doing what Joe did last game and just taking all of the utility junglers' camps. Meanwhile, DV just whack, 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 take that tower and don't talk back. Sejuani wants the blue buff in exchange though. He says, I need my cooldowns and my mana. I'm getting a blue buff. Doesn't have to be mine, but I'm taking one of them. A little bit of posturing from in the mid lane. There might be some action. Ashe is just recalling bot, so not much that the devs can do here other than just give this tower up.
I mean, Sejuani's been playing around top, and obviously they have gotten top tower for it, but they actually have to trade 2 towers in exchange because the Tristana and Morgana are able to rotate into mid after taking down their tower.
Yeah, and meanwhile the Ashe and the Trist are pretty even on CS, but the Twitch is just so far behind on farm to the Victor. He does have 2 kills to show for it, but
like on top of all of that, then the Trundle just takes down the tower in front of Ornn's face, so it's it's kind of like not where you want to camp, right? Obviously, the Trundle is running an absolute muck in the top lane, but I think that you really do need to try to play for your mid lane, play for your bot lane more than Giuseppe has been.
Yeah, I understand the desire to like try to ease the weak side pains in that lane, but now Trundle looking with Boise for this bot lane, but the Venom Z XP drops his ultimate and flashes out, and that's a nice disengage to make sure that they don't get anything out of it.
I mean, that's just really good restraint too, from Boise, knowing that's not about.
Goes past Flash of Night, but hits Boise, and that sets Boise up to get hit by the Ornn ult and just instantly deleted. Meanwhile, ADOD shows up, but looks like they're just going to take their 1 kill and say good enough for me, but okay, Joe throws his ult out, misses, but good fish. Meanwhile, Tristana and Morgana just taking bot tower. The tower difference in this game, you see it's 1 tower taken to 4 now, and you can see that reflected in the gold value of 29k to 26, but ADOD, oh no, Tyaskull uses bind, and now Addy gets to open up on him. Tyaskull has flash, but Josepiak with the deepest flank you've ever seen, and the Ashe flank comes out and comes in clutch. Croy has no jump right now, but they just don't have the cooldowns to take her out.
And I mean, you see their CWG's bot lane pushing bot lane, so obviously you want to pull the trigger on something on the other side of the map since your bot lane's already there, which I don't think is a bad option, but they did have to give away a tier 2 tower because Tristana just is the best ADC at pushing towers, in all
Also,
honesty. So
the
I
bomb
think
plus the
that,
Q.
yeah, exactly. So I don't know if it's actually worth, just because of how much map they conceded, and then obviously there's a lot of gold that was just put onto the Tristana there.
Yeah, but they are up. They are all up for this dragon as well, so they at least didn't give that up with that death. So now it should be an actual fight. But Twitch has no ult. We're not up for another like 15. Sejuani ult the same. So the devs definitely want to wait this out for about 15-20 seconds if they can. But then they have a pretty nice team fight ready. Ash ult goes in. Venom goes in with the ult. Ty's cool just instantly deleted. Adioe opens up. A lot of cooldowns blown. Croy cleanses, jumps out, gets away, survives with her life, jumps back in, kills Venom, and that's a 4-for-1 trade in favor of CWG. Tyaschool goes down, but very well played by Croy getting out, going back in when the opportunity arrived. And we saw the Victor and the Trundle damage just absolutely crazy that fight. Trundle just running away with these things, as Trundles often do, especially into these tank comps. And now they get Dragon and Rift Herald out of it, so just really looking to steamroll their lead.
And I mean, that's just a huge problem with the devs comp, right? Is where's their damage?
Right.
You have the Twitch, who's building AP, right? One item, Zerkers. That's all that they have, right? Like your jungler has more items than your mid laner does, who's arguably the hyper carry of your team. Of course, like Ashe does do damage, but if you have your three tanks diving against the enemy backline / frontline, right? If the Vi, obviously Morgana did die that fight, but after that, it's like, who was low, right? Like Tristana was half HP.
Yep, Tristana had a nice
really
cleanse there. And the hardest part is like, okay, your only damage is a Twitch and an Ashe, and your opponent has a Vi. So they have one button that just says you get to get immediately half health, and then Flash of Night being so strong this game. Oh, the Twitch almost dies to the Morgana, but David shows up, misses his ult on Flash of Night, and he might, okay, he has to flash out. He might still die for this. Vi is there with the flank. Yeah, he's going down.
Maybe... And on the back end of it, Boise did actually find Red Ranger there.
Oh wow!
Using his ult on him again. Yeah, he was sitting in this behind, like the bush behind blue buff, and got like a full combo on him into his ult.
Yeah, they're just really showing the power of this aggressive team fight, or like pick style into a team comp that really wants to team fight, but is not necessarily grouping up, or and they're getting pressured from a lot of angles. I think TWG really playing their team comp properly this game. And yeah, like you said, they just kept the Twitch down early, and now, I mean, he keeps trying to fight this Victor, and he's just getting like quarter health every time.
And it's just like at this point in the game, right? The Victor almost has Shadow Flame completed, and then the Twitch has Nashor's Tooth, Berserkers, and a couple books,
Yeah.
But the devs are actually just starting Baron.
Yeah, I mean, they said, hey, we gotta just go for something. You can feel the desperation. They're down 6,000 gold. They're down a lot of map pressure. Red Ranger getting soloed by Kuroi hard. Venom Z goes and hits the exhaust, but then walks back to the Trundle, and they really wanted to focus him, but now the Vi still around. Kuroi's just there dealing mad damage. I think they should have definitely focused the Tristana a lot more there. Like, they just let the Ashe immediately die to him, and now the Baron gets to go down. Looking like a
once
rough
again, like, they were
devs.
able to kill one person, right?
Yeah,
they killed somebody, but after that, right, that was a 4v5 from the side of CWG, and they won.
I think that CWG is playing these team fights very well. They're all splitting up. They're not letting these AoE ultimates hit more than like one, maybe two of their team. and so it makes it really hard for the devs to do much. Because if an Amumu ult only hits one person, and an Ornn ult only hits one person, you're kind of losing a lot of the value of those abilities. And we're seeing what happens when the damage is a lot more split up as opposed to just all in on 2 ADCs.
And on top of that, right, there, you have the Trundle, right? Obviously, he did die last time, but it took so many resources, so much time to focus him down that it cost him the entire fight, because the Trundle is able to tank better than any of the dev's tanks because of his R, because of his
Right.
sustain, through Divine Sunderer and Bork. So it's a pretty tough spot that you're in if you're the devs. What do you do? Who do you try to play around? How do you play these fights?
Yeah, I think the Vi and the Trundle picks were just so good into this team comp. It was exactly what you want to beat this sort of playstyle, and they recognize that, and they've seen the devs pull this out, and so I think they just had this one ready. And obviously, the Victor just really farming well is super helpful. And now it looks like a dragon getting started by CWG here in a couple seconds. I don't think the devs can contest this. The Sejuani and the Twitch are both top. Everybody's defending. So that's going to be third dragon sole point for Crocs with Glocks, and they still have the Baron buff up. Just Sejuani probing around, seeing if they can maybe get a pick, but just nothing to be found. Boise wants this Twitch. He sees him recalling. Oh, and the Twitch actually cancels his recall. And now Vi wants to try to 1v on the Sejuani. We'll see how that goes. Level 13 to level 11. Oh, the ult follows just Hex Q. And now Tim is there. Oh, nice flash out of Joe, though, just to make sure that he can live and not give too much. And now that's a Vi ult down, which is pretty big, but they do lose Joe's flash for it.
I mean, it's only a total of 65-second cooldown at this point in the game, right?
Yeah.
The Defined Sunder and the DD both giving CDR.
Yeah,
And on top of that, they have a Hextech Drake.
The bot lane for CWG just standing in a bush saying, please, someone come here. Twitch, I know you want to come. But nothing happens, and so they just go. And yeah, as you were saying, the Vi ult only a quarter cooldown left, and they're just forcing towers down now. They're so far ahead, and they're pushing that lead and making sure that they can get a lot done. The devs engaging here though. Nice. Okay, very nice ultimates that time. The Ornn ults hit and the Amumu ults both hit the Tristana. ADOD goes down to Boise, but Boise also falls down. But now T-Money shows up and he is ready to fight. He is chomping, swinging, flash E. DB turns around and tries to trade. Gets one back, but he's definitely going to die for that. And now potential to end, I think. Quadra kill for T-Money and another 5 for 3 that time, but it may just be the end.
I mean, so what we just learned is that the Trundle was why they were able to 4v5, because he wasn't there and then they were losing.
Yeah, and once he showed up,
then he just kind of rolled everybody. So
it was a nice engage. They saw the Trundle wasn't there and they went for it, but yeah, it just unfortunately they
game
was just not enough.
Going over to CWG, leaving the series at 1-1.
1-1, blue side, 100% win rate.
We now have ourselves a series.
Yep, looks like maybe a potential silver scrapes yet again in these playoff games. That we will be back as soon as the teams are ready. All right, devs are now on the blue side. We'll see what they got cooked up to try to win this game and make it a 2-1 in their favor, and we'll see what CWG has to answer it.
I think that I want to see a carry top lane matchup. um, if you actually look at both of those games, tank top laners have not been doing too hot. Obviously, the Malphite did okay into the Mordekaiser, but I do think that DV4 needs to be put onto a carry.
Yeah, I think in that same vein, we've seen that the utility jungler both game lost pretty hard. So I do like to see the aggressive junglers, and less of just like a tank, the tank jungler who just gets invaded.
Once again, right? The devs did kind of what CWG did the first game, and that's kind of just like put all of your eggs in one basket through the Twitch or the Silas, like in game one. So I do think that they need to draft more capable comps of carrying, right? Not just like, oh, look at us, we're a Kog'Maw comp, right? Like Kogalulu, 3 tanks, whatever. But they need to draft something that's able to kind of have multiple avenues of winning the game. Maybe bot lane doesn't go too good, but your top lane's doing insanely well. So we're kicking off into draft, and they already banned Kale, same as the other 2 games, taking that away from Team Money.
Yeah, they're scared of the Kale and the Echo. They do not want those to be a thing. The Akali and the Azir as well. It's very familiar. We'll see if the devs end up first picking the Jinx again now that they have blue side, or if CWG respect bans it. We did see the devs actually ban the Jinx that they won with game 1, respecting Croy on the blue side. Looks like the MF fan, so
Exact
not be
same
surprised to
bans
see a Jinx here.
from CWG from the first round. So they will actually pick up Tristana once again.
I really like that.
I did too.
They tried the Ashe into the Jinx, didn't work out. Tristana, Croy just looked so good on it, and the Morgana, that was such a nice lane for them. We'll see what support the devs can do to try to beat it this time, because we saw last time the Ashe ADCs have not been having a good time this series either.
Yumi. You should just pick Yumi.
Actually, wouldn't mind seeing a Soraka pick here, but Venom gets his Thresh and he's pulling the trigger on it. Not surprised. Very good pick for him. He was very solid on the
obviously
champ, and it's not banned. So.
Obviously, like Thresh is my most played champion on this account, so I do think that Thresh is capable of beating Morgana, but I do not think that it's a very favorable matchup, and it really comes down to in solo queue, right? Like most people pick Morgana as a counter pick, so nobody really mains Morgana. But in a competitive setting where this Ty Cool looked very comfortable on Morgana, I do think that Thresh is just going to be shut down very hard in the lane.
Yeah, I think Morgana is so hard to beat as any like hook champion. The spell shield, the bind, they're just so strong. And now we see the Kindred into the Maokai, so we'll see if maybe this time the Maokai jungle, actually the utility jungle can outperform the carry jungle. I expect to see the Kindred played a lot like the Jarvan was game 1, a lot of hopping walls and invading. But the ball machine makes it really hard when he just throws saplings in every bush, and it's just so much vision that you can get. And Maokai has some pretty nasty ganks too, and they are respecting the Victor. They do not want to see that again. Or the Shin out of DV, which I do not blame them for not wanting to see that either.
So we will see if the Maokai does go top or jungle. Obviously, I think that Maokai Jungle offers like just walking CC basically. You don't have to draft a lot of very strong gank setup to play with a Maokai. So I do think that Maokai Jungle would be a pretty good option, especially considering the champions that have already been drafted by the devs. Right, Thresh can't necessarily stop the Maokai
Yeah, it's so
engage.
hard.
So I
Yeah,
do
and
think that it's a
we've
pretty good
s-
pick.
we've seen Muujin play the jungle Maokai. We have not seen top Maokai out of Tim, but you never know. First time for everything. Oh, have we been talking about ourselves this whole?
I don't think so.
Okay. Okay.
Thank
I just saw
goodness.
the prod R. I thought it just popped up, and I was like, oh, okay. Vlad ban. So they are not respecting this Twitch at all. I wouldn't be surprised to see it again, but at the same time, Kindred Jinx Twitch. That'd be a pretty squishy team. I don't even
Yeah, I
think a
do
Malphite
think that
could
they
frontline for
should.
that.
Yeah, I do think that they should put in something that has engage potential or backline threat.
Yeah, we've
Obviously,
seen
I
the
don't know if he
Silas.
plays Ari, but I do think that Ari is a pretty good pick. Silas is also very solid.
The Silas is
Morgana
very good.
ult, Maokai ult.
Maokai ult. Goes for
They're gonna
the
pick
Akshan.
Hotshot.
Triple AD. I mean, unless that's Akshan top and then they're going to go in AP mid. I don't know if I like that
I
pick,
want to
but
see Maokai go top. I want to see Maokai go top and then pick Rammus.
yeah, actually, that would be. If
I
they
just
do
want to
that,
see it,
they're
man. I just want to see
drafting.
it.
I mean, they have Wujin, so they have the draft god. We'll see if he sees the same pick. I mean, it is a Mordekaiser top, so there's some AP, but I mean, a Rammus would just make it so hard to play this game on this for the Dubs. And Maokai's not bad into Maokai or into Mordekaiser either. The Olaf.
So I do not see. I don't see a fourth champion picked for
Yeah, me neither.
CW.
Oh,
Is
it's
Galio.
Galio.
Okay. So they do have the long range ults. I do
Yeah.
think that the Akshan is actually a pretty good pick into Galio. Obviously, he did have counter picks, so we'll see how much he's able to abuse it. Um, but of
Yeah.
course, like Galio is able to build tank items. We all know that. I don't think that he should lose too much on it, obviously. And Kindred just has to play for counter ganks because very little gank setup on the side of the devs. Obviously, Mordekaiser has gank setup, but when it comes to bot lane, then how are you gonna kill uh, somebody who's black shielded? Tristana has
Yeah,
dash
jumping
away.
around.
Yeah, so it will be a very difficult game to play if you're not counter ganking the Maokai.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the plan with this Akshan pick is because, like you said, there's no real good lane to gank for him. And that's kind of where he excels is being able to shove and roam. But I feel like wherever he goes, there's not it's very easy kills to be had.
I mean,
Meanwhile,
Akshan has a lot of carry potential, so I obviously if it does go out like I was talking with the Kindred, not counter ganking and just trying to look for proactive ganks uh, himself, then I don't think that he'll be able to do a lot. But if he's walking into CWG's jungle with Kindred, say like top lane's pushed up, bot lane's pushed up, or whatever, and they do also have prio, then I think the Akshan pick can be good, especially into the Galio. But obviously Galio has ult; he'll be able to respond as well. I don't
right?
think it'll be too big of a deal.
Yeah, I think the Galio follow up is pretty nice, and he also has really good wave clear. But I do like what you're saying. If they look a lot into the jungle, try to kill the Maokai, keep him from doing anything. But man, I can just see this Olaf ulting and running past everything and getting on this Jinx, and I think Jinx will have a bit of a
And
bad
there's
time
a
with that.
singular the singular thing that we're not thinking about, all right? Obviously, looking at draft, CWG wins. But they're red side and the devs are blue side. So
Bro,
we'll just have to see about that.
yeah, we'll see if the blue side winning can continue. I don't know. I think it'll be a very interesting game. I think it's gonna be pretty scrappy. We'll see if the Akshan passive can revive his whole team and win the game. That's always a very real
It's so
threat.
broken, man. Who
It's
thought
so
about that?
frustrating.
Who thought that up? Like that would be a good idea.
Riot employees. Only a Riot employee would ever imagine such a cursed thing. We have seen Joe's Kindred though, and it's very good. A lot of a lot of these people are on their mains. You know, Thresh for Venom, Jinx for Ranger, Kindred for Joe. I mean, obviously it's not his Echo, but it's definitely one of his comfort picks.
I do actually. I love Kindred as a jungler. Uh, my favorite champion to play in like pubs to just kind of like stomp people.
Yeah.
Um, definitely a very fun champion to play, especially once you're very comfortable on ADC mechanics. So we'll see if he's able to kind of abuse these early game tanks on the side of CWG. You know, the Gallia, the Maokai. Very, I wouldn't say weak, but very immobile when it comes to running away.
Yeah.
Uh, so we'll see how he's able to work around the Mordekaiser, the Akshan, who should have early game lane prio. Of
Hmm.
course, Olaf is able to do dumb Olaf things in the top lane, so he might be able to pull off some cheeky first or some cheeky solo kills.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he's looking for him. If top lane's really scrappy. But if the Kindred, like you said, if he can get some mid lane prio, it just makes the games. It makes the Kindred pick so much stronger. You can contest the marks with your mid laner. You can go and invade their jungle. Um, but if the Akshan is kind of kept at tower, it makes Kindred's life a lot harder. Because if the Galio just walks up to contest, you can't get your marks. You can't get your 4 stacks, which is like what you really need to start popping off, and it can be pretty rough. I guess unless you have anything else to say,
No, I mean I think I covered all the bases that I kind of want to talk about
all right
so
then
far. You know.
we'll take a quick break then for the spectator delay, and we'll be back in about 3.5 minutes.
Welcome back to Game 3 of CWG versus the Devs, and uh, out of the gate, we see just kind of 5 points coming out of either team. Boise taking a Mordekaiser Q for the ward. Other than that, not very much action going on. The bot lane of the Devs respecting the Morgana potential invade, placing a ward behind red and just kind of sitting next to their buff.
Yeah, I would have liked to see a Thresh hook over the, like, just go hook the blue buff. Oh wait, he's not Blitzcrank, so it doesn't work out that way.
He is actually Thresh is actually able to pull and displace over like the smaller walls. Say like next to like the red side try on like bot. He's able to kind of like displace over that wall.
Really?
Yeah. It's like pretty hard, and you have to have it at like the right angle, but it is possible. There's like a couple other walls that you're able to do, I'm pretty sure.
So the jungle's starting opposite side. I would imagine Joe's looking for a blue into red, but Olaf, getting wise to the games of the Kindred jungle, goes in words of the red. So if he does go for it, then Maokai can just go for Kindred's red and call it a day.
He did actually lose a minion of XP there, I'm pretty sure. So obviously helping out his jungle a little bit, but does have to lose a little bit just because of his late decision making.
Yeah, I think he didn't ward until they saw that Venom and Red Ranger weren't leashing, and so then they said, okay, I guess we should probably go word instead of just. I mean, I would like to see him just word on the way to lane anyway, but the Kindred, even with the topside chart, is just looking for a full clear and hoping that the bot crab is his crab. Red Ranger goes for the hook, and Ty School started Black Shield, so nothing to be done there.
I wasn't looking at what ability he started, but it is actually my preference to not really take an ability and then just like quickly level into the Black Shield if needed.
Yeah, I'm not sure when he leveled it, but he does Black Shield the hook level 1, but I'm not sure how much would have been done from it since he was under tower. But Kindred looking for a 4 camp into a bot gank. Kind of interesting.
Another pretty common thing to do is whenever you're playing against a Thresh, you can just kind of like left click on him, and you can tell if he has Flay or Q because the Flay passive will be appearing. Yep. So that can kind of also be an indicator of whether you should level into your Black Shield or not.
Yep, and Kindred coin flips and gets lucky. The mark is bot side, and his bot and mid both have cryo, so pretty much gets to secure that mark for free, which is super nice for him. Off to a good start, just getting 1 mark early. And Maokai did 5 camps into crab, so Kindred is a camp down, but you know he was looking for a play bot. Can't hate that. Just trades going down mid, and Kindred falling back to the jungle.
Yeah, just ranged champion into melee champion matchup things. Yeah. It's never entertaining to play.
Yeah,
if you're the melee champion, that is.
Pretty rough. It's just kind of like, okay, but the hook lands before the Black Shield in his bot lane trade, but I think, I don't know, it looked like Crocs still kind of got the better end of that trade. But obviously, Jinx scales really well, and now they have, oh, nice jump to buffer that hook, though. It was a nice play into hook, but Croy with a really nice jump out. And now there's a very volatile bot lane, and Gromp is marked, and they don't know Maokai's top yet, but they're about to, so if Kindred goes for that Gromp with his lane prio, could be a 2nd mark really early, and it looks like they are pinging it, and he wants it. And the Maokai gank doesn't get the kill yet, but it could still be a nice dive if they want it.
Just be resetting. I mean, I would have dove.
Yeah, I would have gone for the dive, but you know, I'm a coin flipper, so yeah. Now Maokai says, "Hey, let's go stop this guy at the mark," but it's a little too late for that. Kindred's gonna take the mark and get out.
I mean, she doesn't have smite up. It could be stealable.
Imagine the Morgana steal. Oh, he resets it! Oh no, I hope you guys saw that. And now since he reset it, he just gets to die because he had to stay a little longer. Okay, he lives, but does not get his mark that he could have if he it didn't go down like that. Now Boise's here looking for Venom. Venom gets rooted. Oh, but now Boise gets hooked and has to flash out. A lot of action going down here. Tristana looking for the action. A lot of flashes blown. Just very interesting League of Legends. Definitely the volatile gameplay we were expecting out of this matchup. Meanwhile, top
just flash after flash, no kills being dropped. Only a
every
500
time
gold lead.
No. Yeah, Red Ranger has to stay here and push this. Olaf has the wave slow pushing, so I think Mord might just sit back and wait. Really unfortunate that the Kindred didn't get that mark, but you know there'll be other marks. Crab will be spawning pretty. Oh, Crab does already spawn, and Boys is taking it. So the next mark will be
probably Raptors.
Wraiths, I think. Yeah, Raptors. Yeah, so
Raptors,
we'll have to see. That'll probably be in about 20 seconds. We'll see if Kindred has that timer and wants to go straight for it right now, because that could be kind of the play. Akshan resets. Galio just hitting the tower now. Getting roll plate damage done. Meanwhile, top is just, you know, two people hitting each other, as top laners do. Yeah, there's the Wraith mark, but Maokai is there to take it immediately, so Joe might go check for it after this blue buff, but he'll be sorely disappointed. Unless he can just get the mark off of Maokai, but it looks like he's just going for a gank mid instead. I don't think Maokai saw him there either. Okay, maybe he did. Flash of Night, at least definitely respecting it. And now Joe getting caught out in the 2v1, but IDOD does show up and he has ult, but the ult on the
all the
CC.
CC.
Not so useful. See if he can outplay this, but looking like he just needs to walk away. Yeah, Kindred got locked down and got a little too aggressive for the mark with no cryo.
I mean, I think that the Kindred needs to be playing a little bit more predictive on the map. Obviously, it's like you kind of know that bot lane's been kind of conceded, so the mark on the Gromp is going to be taken, the Scuttle is going to be taken, so you're not going to have a mark on the bot side. So I think that instead of taking his Gromp and blue, he should have just immediately gone to Raptors. Maybe he was able to burst down the big Raptor and smite it away before Boise even gets there, but
yeah, and now with this top crab spawning, it's going to be his mark, and he is in the bot side looking for a play, so he's just kind of giving up his marks to try to get stuff done, but with no flash and no ult, I'm not sure what he can get done. Kuroi sees the lantern gets thrown, immediately jumps away. I like that. Oh, but the mark is actually on Gromp because the crab is not quite spawned, but they're collapsing on it. I think he knows that he has no chance in getting that one.
I mean, the problem with Kindred is that she's able to be kind of predictable with where and how she counter jungles, simply because of that fact.
Okay, he's actually just starting Dragon. He says, I don't care about the mark. If you guys think I'm going to go for that, I'm just going to go get this Dragon. Flash of Night, though, walking up, does not see it, though. Does not walk far enough. Venom walking into a bush. They really thought that he was going for that mark. So I guess, I mean, that is one thing, is like, when you think that it's predictable, you expect him to go for that mark, and you can make plays like that where you just give up other objectives thinking he's going to go to that side of the map. Drops the ult to save Venom. Oh, but Venom gets ulted out by Tristana. Tristana actually a very good counter to Kindred because she can ult people out of the ult, but the Galio ult is used there and for not much gain. So it gives Akshan a second to breathe and get the tower pressure down. I don't know who took, I think ADOD took that crab, so now Kindred can't get a mark off it, but, you know, it is what it is.
So right now the lane states, you know, the bot lane of CWG kind of conceding some CS and things like that to try to ensure that the Kindred does not get to counter jungle. But, you know, obviously the Kindred has not been able to get any marks beyond that first one that we saw. So, yeah, unfortunately, does have two lanes that are up in, or 3 lanes that are up in CS. So able to kind of swing around a little bit.
And now he's getting the Herald, so
Yeah, exactly.
really not. I mean, sure, he's not getting marks, but marks will come with time. I mean, there will be opportunities to get marks, and you really don't need any after 4. But getting these Heralds and these Dragons are really, really good out of Giuseppe Hack. Meanwhile, Maokai looking for a top play, but DV kind of smells it. Yeah, he sees it with that ward most way. How about Boise says, you ain't walking away that easy. And DV said, yeah, you're actually trapped in here with me is the crazy part. And now Akshan and Kindred both roaming up, so it's going to be a 3v1 here. The Galio does not have ult and is not really following. Jinx Rocket is thrown. It looks like it might... Okay, it does miss, but Timony is just gets bursted out by that Akshan pick. And now Boise gets hooked, and nice 2 for 0 and the Herald, which they can now use to push down bot lane and or top tower and really open up that side of the map if they want to.
That's just not playing around your crucial cooldown of the Galio to be able to follow the Akshan.
Yeah.
Right? Akshan able to roam more than the Galio at this point in the game, right? His ult's on a 166-second cooldown, which is absolutely absurd.
Yeah, very well done. Very well rotated by the devs to actually react to that and be there in time before the Galio could possibly respond. And now they got first turret out of it, and now they're up 3k gold. Nice hook out of Venom. This is why he let him get his Thresh is a little bit risky. His Thresh is good. And now that is a very diveable bot lane. Maokai's coming to try to help with the Galio as well, actually, so they really need to respect this and run away. The Lantern might get thrown, but I don't know if they know that the Galio's here. He ghosts out, but gets rooted. Okay, the Lantern is thrown. Nice hook, and then into the Lantern. Man, this Thresh is just so good. Drops the ult, kills Ty. It's cool because he's excited from killing the Flash of Night, and now Akshan shows up and is gonna revive the Jinx immediately. 4 for 1, and then the Jinx is back on the map anyway.
So
meanwhile,
before
top
that
lane,
play,
DV smacks out Olaf. That's a cross map ace. And that is exactly what you're hoping to be doing in this early game on the side of the devs.
I mean, before that play bot lane, then they were already 3k up with only 3 kills.
Yeah, just off that
on the map.
tower.
Yeah, off the tower, the neutral objectives, right? Dragon only gives 25 actual gold, but then Herald actually gives like 200, 300 or something like that. So obviously some plays being taken bot lane, but ult coming out of Morgana amounts to nothing because Akshan is a dumb champ.
Yep, but just gets to be away. Wujin flashes in on this, and the Galio shows up with the ult to try to get Giuseppe. Giuseppe has the ult though and has a Thresh Lantern. Let's see if he can click it over these 2 fat bodies. He cannot, so he is forced to die.
Yeah, Wujin's laughing about that one. He thinks that's hilarious. I thought that was hilarious.
Top drop the ward. Bro, there's nothing I hate more than that though, when you just are trying to click that Lantern and you just can't. Once again though, the Galio ult is used for that, and that, like you said, is a hefty cooldown on this rank 1 ult. Meanwhile, Boise getting caught out by DV because he has rotated first, and it looks like he might just die in the Shadow Realm. Gets sent straight to Narnia, but Adiod actually gets the kill. Oh, Venom almost gets that hook on Ty's Pool. And now Mort still has the TP, so he's not even losing much top for it. And they are contesting this dragon. Kindred is back up. And looks like Crocs with Glocks just saying, okay, I guess we'll just get your tower if you want to go for dragon. But they don't want to go for dragon. They want to get kills. They are out for blood. Nice disengage from Ty's Pool. Good root on the Thresh. And then they'll just kind of jump away.
Just feels so bad if you're at the side of CWG, right? You drafted a pretty strong comp, in my opinion. And you're just kind of getting ran around by the Akshan, which is, once again, I hate the champions so much. Like, I hate people who play him. Like, I don't if I met somebody who wanted to duo with me and they played Akshan, I would stop duoing with them because I'd feel bad. Like,
You say you are a subhuman. I will never talk to you again. That's
basically, yeah.
It is kind of funny because the CWG team is like a comp where they're like, okay, we have a really solid comp as long as we don't let the Akshan get ahead. And then now you see the 4-0 Akshan, and unfortunately, not what they want. Galio's keeping up pretty good in CS, but I don't know. I think that first ultimate not amounting to much has really kind of snowballed out of control. See how many stacks Deputy Hack has now. He's still on 1 stack at 16 minutes, which is, yeah, I know that feeling. Venom gets the hook on Boise, and DV with the ultimate, and I don't think Boise has anywhere to go here. Just gets Q, and, oh, right into the traps when he spawns. Very nicely placed traps by Red Ranger. And now Boise caught out trying to steal the mark. But he does deny the mark from the Kindred, which is valuable. And now AdioD trying to catch Flash of Night. Flash of Night dashes out, and AdioD says, yeah, I can dash in, but luckily Flash pretty tanky with that Aftershock proc, just walks out. Ranger just get a little poke damage in, but Olaf going in for the fight, but the Lantern Thresh just standing at the tower, flies his little ADC away. But now they are looking to collapse on the Akshan, who is just taking the tower while taunted. Flash of Night instantly bursted out. That is just some crazy damage, but T-Money says, I want to kill you for your shutdown. And Addy is walking right into the Maokai, and gets rooted, knocked back. They really need to give the Cedar Twist or Olaf, though. Yeah, Maokai just backs off, doesn't want to steal it. Very smart. That's a 950
in exchange
shutdown.
for the shutdown, they're about to give at least 1 tower, potentially even 2 towers mid.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I mean, you're right. He gets the shutdown, but at what cost? 1 tower and a charge off, so that middle tower is at a quarter health whenever they want to take it. Still is definitely what they wanted to get, get the Olaf back in the game a little bit. If the Olaf can get strong, he can handle the Akshan. He can run through. He can never get ulted by the Mord because he just ults out with it. But definitely still looking a little bit rough at a 6k disadvantage, 6.7k disadvantage for Crocs with Glocks, and 2 Dragon advantage for the devs.
Man, it just feels so bad because the best pick in all of La Liga is blue side. Like,
yeah,
man,
sure.
it just feels like no matter what your comp is on blue, like you're gonna win.
Being able to take that Jinx, I mean, it basically saves you 2 bans. Like, it saves you a ban and forces the opponent to ban when there's a very contested pick and you're on blue side. Like we saw when the devs had to ban Jinx out when they were red side, but yeah, I don't know. It's also like, I think that these comfort picks, it just shows that having your comfort picks is so useful. Like this Thresh, you're seeing how clean it is even into like a supposed counter matchup. I mean, I would consider it a counter matchup for sure, but he's just so comfortable on the champ that it doesn't really matter. And when you have a lot of champs that need to be banned out, some of the real comfort picks get through, and we're seeing the damage that can do. We're at a 6k gold lead and a 6 kill lead for the devs going into this next dragon fight. I want to say Kindred's still at 1 stack. Let's take a look. Yeah, still at 1 stack, 20 minutes. Who cares? Doesn't need him.
I'm just not sure what WG needs to do to get back into this game. Once again, like, obviously, yeah, they do have like carry potential through the Olaf. Obviously, the Tristana is a hyper carry, and then Galio is able to carry, but that's not really what you need in a game like this, right? You need some kind of like front line to enable the Tristana and the Morgana, but you don't really see them able to do that.
They're more or less at the point of the game when I'm just like, I don't know what to do to win anymore. They're giving up this soul point in exchange for 3 towers, though. The devs were just at this dragon so early, and rather than just try to contest the dragon, they said, fine, you can have that, but we're getting 2 towers and some more tower damage. But it does come at a cost. That is soul point now, and another mark for Joe. This is kind of the Kindred special so far from what we've seen from Joe in the Liga, where he just kind of does nothing early and then starts popping off. So we'll see when the pop-off moment comes. Mordekaiser does get killed, and then nice disengage out of Boise. Drops his ult on Giuseppe Hack. And I don't think they can really chase this to any real avail, but Baron is up, so I wouldn't be surprised if they maybe try to look for it, because CWG is obviously a lot of their members are really low and kind of forced to recall here. Red Ranger flashes out with the W, and Tyskool forced to flash to match it to not die. Oh, and unfortunately Kindred gets rooted, but I don't think it matters. I think Tyskool still dies here. They really wanted to kill him, and now they have a Maokai and an Olaf come behind him, but I don't think that necessarily matters. I think this 3v2 is going to be a bad idea for CWG to take it, even with the Galio ult up. Okay, but they start the Baron. Boise flashes in, but doesn't land a root and has no ult, and now he's the one rooted. But there is the Galio ult. We'll see if, okay, Giuseppe Hack lands his ultimate, and now it's a 3v3, but the devs their 2 other members are going to be there much sooner. And if the Akshan can get the cleanup on Olaf, that is both the teammates revived for the devs, and now Flash Knight looks like he might be going down as well.
This feels so bad, you know, like Olaf, he's doing so much work for Bromacia, and then
yeah,
you know.
and then the Akshan just brings the teammates back, and so now that's a Baron. Really rough. The Akshan is so tilting to play against because of that. But I mean, the Olaf's getting strong. It's definitely one of the ways that they can get back in this game. They're collecting tower bounties. Fortunately, with the Baron push, I think it's going to be pretty strong. Red Ranger already out on the map. Probably needs to just fall back and wait for his team, though, instead of getting cut out. Giuseppe Hack is now at 3 marks at 23 minutes. 1 more mark and he becomes twice as strong. So he marks the Galio.
He's scaling.
Yeah, he is scaling. He's hitting his 4-mark power spike just in time. His 0-3.
So looking at items, currently you have the Akshan with 3 items and a crit cloak for his 4th, and then almost everybody else in the game is at 2 items or 2.5 items. He's the only person who's actually been able to complete 3 items so far with his 7-1 scoreline, with the most CS in the game, almost 200.
Yeah, he's worth a lot of gold right now, or he has a lot of gold right now. And meanwhile, also the devs have 3 Kraken Slayers, so they definitely do not want tanks to be an issue this game. They just said, oh yeah, go ahead, build armor. We'll just do triple true damage. Mordekaiser has to be matched by at least 2 here, so then the devs see that and they just want to force down this mid tower. The cannon is just shooting it from 1.5 miles away. 100 damage, 100 damage, 100 damage. 1 more hit and it's gone. And now they might look to take this inhib while while the same thing happens top lane. The cannon just hitting the tower. Yeah, Joe's falling back to get his mark. He really wants to get that 4th mark before this fight. I don't blame him. It makes you so much stronger. He instantly smites it, and Olaf gets caught out, actually.
Not even dropping the ult, wanting to save for whenever he respawns.
Saves the ult, but I mean, I think the ult probably would have allowed him to live. But yeah, it might just be better to hold it and sacrifice these inhibs. Definitely at least the mid inhib's going to go down. They're defending top tower. Looks like, okay, they are kind of engaging on this Akshan, but Kindred shows up and Galio says, okay, never mind, sorry, I didn't mean it. Croy gets hooked in and ulted by the Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser just Qs her for half her health. Jinx docks him and flashes out though, makes it out. Lives to tell the tale, but the Jinx rocket says, yeah, I don't think so. This Okay, it looks like they don't think that they can in here, or
I mean,
maybe
I
they
I
do.
think they can.
I
I
think
think
they
they can.
definitely can, but it looked like DB wanted to reset, but maybe that was just to bait Boise into going in. Flash of Night taunts, but then just gets shot by a triple Kraken Slayer. T-Money with the ult, we'll see if it pays off. Okay, he doesn't really get much out of it, but it might be enough, bought enough time. Flash of Night does not get to live. And now Boise follows him straight to hell. And look at this Kindred, 1, 3, and 6. Doesn't matter, still won. Blue side wins again. We'll see if
She got 5 stacks.
he did get his 5th stack. And nice ult to make sure they close out the game. And yeah, we'll see if in the next match blue side can win again, or if the devs can break the cycle
The
of
the best pick in all of La Liga is blue side. That's crazy.
yeah, and you know that it just even really makes you wonder even more why you would ever pick the red side, which it'll be pretty rough if blue side wins 100% of these games and uh the Crocs with Glocks gave up that first blue side pick.
Man. All right, so currently Dev set 2-1 uh in the series. I'm gonna go to game 4 shortly whenever the lobby is made. What draft changes do you want to see?
Uh I just like the carry jungles. I mean, these carry jungles are winning and the utility jungles are losing. Just please stop picking utility jungles.
That's fair.
Other than that, I don't know. I mean, it seems like these pick comps are working way better for these teams than the like team fight comps. But I don't know. I mean, we'll see. I think really you just need to be blue side if you want to win.
I think so too. Like I don't I don't know how you choose red side because it's like blue side has been winning for whatever reason. I don't know, right? It's probably mostly like mental.
Yeah, I mean, it is known that blue side is better. It's better for dragon control. It's better, like you said, just for like being able to see. You get first pick. That is why the lower MMR team gets blue side in your ranked games. But it is crazy how much of a difference it seems to make in La Liga.
It's just really demeaning to like think like, oh yeah, blue side, most broken thing in the game.
Yeah,
Doesn't
it,
matter how you draft or anything like that.
yeah. Except I mean, we lost on blue side, so maybe it's not the best thing, but it's
I mean, maybe
top
maybe
five,
you
top
guys
five.
just aren't good enough.
Whoa, whoa, okay, come on, man. Just for that, I'm out of here.
uh, I mean, it's like I just want to see a power comp drafted from red side, like an actual power comp, like
I really liked
pick.
the Vi, because there's a lot of like squishy assassin, uh, like champions in the pool of the devs, and Vi just shuts that stuff down so hard. And we saw Boise plays well on the Vi, so I don't know. If whichever team picks a tanky jungle, this game's gonna lose. That's all I'm gonna say.
I want to see like I just want to see red side win. All right, that's all I want to see. Okay, pick Aatrox, pick Udyr or Trundle, and then
Yeah.
pick like Lulu Cog or something like that, right? Like Kaisa, Leo or something. Power picks. All right, like that's all I want to see.
Yeah, we'll we'll see what happens. It seems like every time people get on red side, they get like nervous and they're like, oh well, we'll just pick this utility champ that really counters what they're trying to do, but then it's not, it just doesn't work out because the the carries get fed. Open your mouths, Mr. Glocks. Uh-oh.
We're now headed into draft. CWG already starting off with the same Echo band that they have been. Devs starting off with the same Kale band that they have been. Nothing going to change for that.
Yeah, another Kale, another Echo. No surprises there. Joe's Echo's scary, and we've seen enough of the Kale to know that you don't want to try to let that
And once
get to late
again, the
game.
Akali and Azir band.
We'll see if the devs ban out the Jinx again here, or if they just say, okay, fine, you can have the Jinx, and we'll just try the Tristana into it.
I don't know. So they actually CWG actually banned Tristana themselves. So looks like they
Wow.
probably want to pick up the Jinx.
Yeah, this might be a Jinx ban out of the devs again, like they did last red side. It's a Nocturne ban. Okay, so they get the Jinx and they don't have to worry about the Tristana pick into it. Well, we'll see, I guess. But even if they pick the Jinx, they do have to worry about the MF into it, which is also pretty strong.
And Ashe as well. I think Ashe is a pretty good pick into Jinx as well.
It's pretty good, but I think these utility champs are just losing. I mean, like, I don't know. The Ashe has not won yet in this series, and the red side Ashe has doubly not won. But we'll see. Yep, the Jinx into the MF. No real surprise there. I'm interested to see if the Thresh gets picked up early before it can get banned. Venom's Thresh is just so good. Very hard to beat. So I wouldn't be surprised if they pick it in these first three. And the Jarvan. They do like the Jarvan pick. Ever since they saw me do it, they realized, oh, Joe can do half as good as that, and that's all you need.
All right.
Now we'll see what CWG picks for their second and third. What are their prio picks before the second ban wave? Any guesses?
Seraphine locked in for Tactical, obviously one of his better champions in my opinion, and then
Yeah, Seraphine's really
the
good.
Vi locked in again for Boise.
Yeah, they're listening to me. They know the Vi is the way to go. I was gonna say I hope they pick the Vi into this, and they did. It's just such a good pick, especially I mean MF Immobile. You can lock it all down. I mean the Seraphine's also so good into Jarvan. Jarvan ults, and then Seraphine just ults the Jarvan ult, and then you're at least hitting one. But they did pick up the Thresh for the devs. They definitely value that pick, and they know it'll get banned second wave if left open, I think. Now we're probably going to look at another Shin ban, another, I don't know, Ornn ban or something. Who knows? See what the top and mid end up looking like for the devs. Mid gets counter pick though if top for Crocs wants to keep his counter pick.
So the fourth pick for the devs will actually be Syndra. They
Oh, that's the
yeah,
ban. They
fourth
banned
ban.
Syndra. Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
And then yep, the Shin ban, Victor ban. Let's see what the fifth ban goes. From CWG. Taking their time.
And the Mordekaiser ban.
Mordekaiser ban. They are scared of it. I don't blame them. It's.
I mean, yeah,
pretty
Mordekaiser.
strong.
I hate that champion.
Yeah, he's pretty good, especially if you want to pick a tank top. But David just goes back to his Malphite, and if you look at his solo queue, Malphite is his like winningest, most played champion, and I just think Malphite's such a good champ. I mean, people say he's boring and that he sucks or whatever. I think he's so good, and I think he's super fun. I don't know, people don't know what they're talking about. So I do like the Malphite pick, and they're leaving the mid counter pick. Well, no, I don't know what I'm talking about anymore.
The Ornn pick.
Yeah, they
Malphite
looked
Ornn in the top lane.
Yeah,
No
we've
action
seen
to be
this.
seen. These are. You were talking
Well,
about them being top lane oriented
I don't
tease,
know.
but here we are.
It might be Vi top Orin jungle. You know, we've seen seen how that goes.
Nah.
Tim, the
It's
biggest Orin
definitely Vi
hater of
mid.
them all, finally joining the dark side and saying, "Okay, fine. If you're gonna pick Malphite, I'm gonna pick Orin."
And the Vex pick blind. I do like that.
Yeah,
Actually,
Vex
offers
is like
so
really
much
hard to
dot.
counterpick, but love to see the Nasus pick into that. I think Nasus is like the best pick into Vex, but y'all ain't ready for that.
That's a really tough team comp to beat.
Yeah, it's
On
gonna be
like,
pretty but I mean, honestly, both teams have such good engage, such good pick. I think this one's really gonna come down to who can either start snowballing earlier or just play their team comp better, because this is two team fighting comps. So,
want me to be honest with you though?
mm-hmm.
It comes down to a singular factor. CWG's blue side. Like
Yeah, exactly.
it's GG, man. Like
It's
why
like
even play
it's
it out?
80-20 favorite already.
Like why even play it out? CWG wins. All right,
True.
go next.
Let's save us 20 minutes. No, I think this is going to be the game where the devs break the cycle of blue. They say, hey, look,
Yeah,
red
honestly,
team can win too.
I do think that the devs drafted a very mean team comp. Um, extremely strong carry potential in MF and Swain, and of course with the J Force Fed, like you can't shy away from him either. But it really just all depends on the engages that CWG is able to find, the wombo combos that they're able to find through the Vex, Vi, the Seraphine, and Ornn. So
There's just
I
so
think
much
that
CC coming out of both teams.
oh, absolutely, and I think that a huge factor for the devs will be how much pressure and how much damage the Swain is able to absorb
Mm-hmm.
in these team fights. So
Yeah, if the Swain can get ahead, it's going to be really hard to kill him. But I will say the CC from Crocs is much longer range than the CC from the devs. So they have the potential to be the ones doing the engaging from just a little further away, 'cause with the Ornn ult, the Vex ult, even the Vi ult. But man, the
I agree.
Jarvan into the MF with a Malphite already is that can do some damage. All right, I think as we wait for the next 3 minutes, we'll go ahead and leave you guys in silence, and we'll be back once the game is started. Looks like it's time for CWG to be going for a little bit of an invade 5-man. And the top laner for the devs is not in his position, so they're gonna get to sneak by. And they were defending for the bot side invade, but now definitely leaves them vulnerable for this top side. Malphite's gonna be standing at the red.
What an invade.
Let's see if he can react in time and walk away. And he gotta go now. Gotta go now. Not like this. No, he thought it was just the Ornn. So he loses his flash. Boise does start Q for that, but yeah, he saw the Ornn and thought he was doing a little bit of a solo invade, and he wanted to mess with him. But that is not
DD4
what was
does
happening.
have to lose flash just to stay alive, but
yeah. And actually, now the Jinx can't get the recall off, so the bot lane of CWG is going to be very late to the lane. Yeah, Joe has to start leashless, but this is going to be really bad for CWG's bot lane, actually. But they got the Malphite flash, but at what cost?
The Ornn also did lose a minion of XP.
Okay, Red Ranger and Venom decided to shove this lane, so Ty is cool, gets to catch all the XP, but they deny Jinx an entire wave of XP. That's gonna be hard.
Such a big W coming out of Swin. Obviously he did have to start W to do it, but
yeah,
it didn't
that's
really.
Worth it.
He's laning against a Vex. It didn't really punish him too much.
Yeah, he wasn't gonna kill him level 1 anyway.
There were some trades coming out, obviously, in Vex's favor at this point in the game, but it's so big to deny a whole wave of XP permanently from the Jinx.
Yeah, I wonder if T Money actually lost any XP there too. He hasn't. Okay, it looks like he
lost a minion.
I
did actually look. He lost a minion.
Yeah, for that leash. So actually, every lane gets a little bit of an XP lead for the devs, and looks like they're taking advantage of it. Kind of getting some lane prio. So T Money is he's no pushover. He's definitely trading. IDOD with a pretty nice trade there. Jarvan potentially looking to gank the Specs, but Vi is hovering bot side.
I mean, it's such a good lane to gank. Obviously,
yeah,
the
Vex just so mobile.
Able to offer pretty good CC when landing the heat.
Vex has the fear up and just kind of fears go, takes him to half health and walks away. Not the gank you really want to see, but he just runs away with his tail behind his legs and takes race anyway. And now the Vi says, hey, I could go look for a little ganky wing. Just going to contest the crab, make sure that Joe can't get anything for free. Well played from Boise. That's one of those blue side advantages.
Absolutely, and I mean, Boise might be able to even double crab here if he wishes to. I think he'll just walk down and start clearing his Gromp wolves. And
that's what I'm thinking. I don't think that he knows, because he doesn't know that Joe didn't just go to the other crab. So it's a safer play just to take Gromp wolves and then probably get a reset off, spend your gold and get back on the map for Dragon. But now that that early lead is turning into quite a considerable lead here in the bot lane. 30 CS to 14 plus the 6 from Thresh, which is basically 6 for MF as well with the Relic Shield. So it's realistically more like 36 to 14.
I do think that they count for both CS counts.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah, I think that it's just 6 of
yeah, you
MF.
you might be right. That would make sense. T Money doesn't know this gank's happening, but maybe, I don't know, maybe he smells something out because the way David's playing or something. But Joe gets his reset off. Boise's still on the map, has not got a recall, which I mean, it feels nice to be able to get more done, but we'll see. I mean, if he can make something happen here in the bot lane, it'll definitely be worth it. But Red Ranger flashes into the lantern, maybe not what he wanted to do. Venom plays out though, hooks the wrong way after the flash. You know, hate to see it, but it happens. But now Jarvan has pickaxe and Vi has no items, so that's actually like quite a bit of an advantage in the 1v1. if they ever are in a fight against each other.
And
And it looks
Boise
like
actually being able to secure Scuttle Crab through pathing and the advantage of being on blue side. So
yeah,
that
I think
is
mostly the advantage, but the pathing was good too, I guess.
so that is a really good decision making, and just kind of utilizing the fact that their bot lane's so pushed up. Obviously, they are in danger if Boise ever does want to look to go top, or I mean bot. So both flashes blown in that gank from the devs blue side, and only the flash blown from Ty is cool.
Yeah, and now it looks like Jarvan wants to for a little bit of dragon action. Vi still hasn't recalled, so not a bad time to do it, but looks like he does not want to. He wants to talk on the sword instead. Can't
So
blame him,
level
man.
6s have been coming out. Obviously, the bot lane of CWG is behind in XP and will not hit 6 as soon as the devs bot lane, but the
Ornn is
jungler
walking down for this dragon. They might actually just get there in time to contest it. Swain's standing there to kind of absorb it, but 2 ults blown on the Swain, but Swain also uses his ult, goes out, walks into the Ornn, but the Lantern saves the day, and then Addy gets to flash out. Meanwhile, they did not finish this dragon, and Joe smites it down to 80, and now 0 for 3 trade, and dragon
just
handed
see
it over to CWG.
across the board, you just see the advantage of blue side there.
That 100% was blue-sided.
Like T-Money just being able to walk down, get the blue side advantage or an ult onto just the Swain, but the Vex tossed all of his full burst onto the Swain, so they were able to pick him up in a little bit throughout the fight. Obviously, Swain with his ult up, very good at soaking up damage, so didn't one-shot him, but he did end up falling very early in the fight and didn't get the most value out of his ultimate.
Yeah, even with both sums blown. It looked like he did recast his ult after flashing, which is pretty unfortunate. And now Addy forced to lane against T-Money and kind of just like hitting a brick wall, I guess. Looks like T-Money brought his frying pan and Addy left his at home for the head bonk competition. Jarvan looking for this Ornn though, but Addy is just getting so chunked. I think he just falls to the Ornn and Joe's just there too late to do anything. Flash of 9 all chat's a smiley face. Blue side BM, I'm not sure if I like that, but you know, it is what it is. Some people are toxic.
I mean, it's the blue side advantage that allows him to do it. You know, like, if you're on red side and you're all chatting, toxic. But if you're blue side, it's fair, you know.
Actually, yeah, I would say it was very humble of him since he's blue sided. Yeah, we are seeing the blue number is 4 and the red number is 0, so one of these sides has an early advantage. I'm thinking it might be the blue side. Up only 1.2k gold though, like not actually the end of the world advantage.
I mean,
right
that's
now.
really just like the difference of bot, right? Like if like the MF is 75 CS,
yeah,
the Jinx is 40, right? 30 CS lead at 9 minutes into the game, which is absolutely absurd. And that all goes back to the level 1 W that Swain landed.
Yeah,
which is just crazy.
It's crazy how those small things can snowball so hard. Now it looks like, I mean, the Swain's looking down for a roam down here, but Vi's in the area, so it would be definitely risky to go for a dive here, even 4-man. Yeah, just not really the time to go for that roam, and they have, both teams have pretty good vision in the bot river to see what's going on. Definitely still a big CS gap, but now Vi is hovering this Jarvan. Okay, Vi's going to Crocs though. That might be the precious few seconds that they need to be able to win this trade. Okay, Venom flashes on a Korai. Jarvan ults after the flash. Very well done onto the Jinx. But now Vi does show up, and we'll see if they can turn this 3v2 around. Vi just instantly kills Jarvan without even ulting. And meanwhile, 2 tanks just whacking each other up top.
Watching this top,
direct camera just sent me straight there to just watch these 2 fat guys hitting each other. Sorry, no body shaming. These 2 girthy individuals.
I mean, if you look at the trade productions, question mark pinging us IRL after the comments. But if you look at the trade difference, the orange actually winning out, and it's probably due to the fact that he's on blue side, with 2
Now,
kills.
I've heard about that.
Up to the Malphite with none. So he does have extra defensive stats.
Yeah, I mean, Malphite really doesn't win a lot of extended trades with tanks. You just kind of have to Q and get out, otherwise... Oh, he turns around, though, ults through the ult, and instantly dies. Maybe not the right play, but still look pretty.
It just looks,
Joe...
once again, like a blue side diff, you know? Like.
So, what's weird is when you're on the red side, actually the combo is E and then Q, but it looks like Joe forgot that, so he thought it was Q then E, but a little bit late on the Q. So, doesn't quite get the Vex, but now Vi comes in and says, I want your little chickens. And he gets them.
Stealing away some of his jungle camp in front of his face. Always feels bad whenever a jungler is able to do that, you know, obviously.
Yeah, you have no recourse.
The Vi is very strong just with the Sheen and Caulfield's hammer.
Yeah.
Of course, the Jarvan is definitely strong, but I don't think that he would win the 1v1 just because of the Vi's dueling capability with the armor crack.
Okay, Seravine's hard baiting here by standing in that. Oh, man. Oh, he does not have ult up, though, so... Oh, what the... Wait, I don't know what just happened there, but I guess Korai died, so in the end, it all works out as planned.
Yeah, Korai just got hooked.
Kuroi.
Obviously, Kuroi got hooked. Venom showing that Thresh is definitely capable of being played even in like an enchanter meta, but
yeah, definitely potentially worth a ban. Venom's Thresh, I think that it is, but I can understand other bans being higher prio. Now Swain's looking to defend this top, but the Vi and the Ornn together can probably just one-shot him under the tower, so it is a bit risky. Yeah, they have the Vi ult is up. Ornn ult's not, but luckily Addy goes and checks the Crocs and sees that, okay, boys are here, maybe I don't want to step up here. But now the Malphite's here to help him. Neither top laner has ult, but both will be up very soon. But the top tower definitely drops. Now DV walks into Timony, gets knocked up, knocked back, triple blasted, but okay, Addy OD with a really nice combo onto both of them though. Malphite still has ults the Vi to stop the escape, and now we'll have to see if the Swain can kill the Ornn, but Tyus Cole getting just run down like a Seraphine main that he is. And then Addy OD still alive, just trying to stay in his ult as long as possible while DV just kind of runs around and throws Qs to run away. We'll see if he can get the execute here maybe, because I don't think there's any way he's getting out, so he does get the execute. Very nicely done. And once again, it's only a 2k lead, but now bot side Kuroi trying to defend this tower, but might have to lose some plates here. Peppy hack. Oh, getting smacked out by this Vex, but just combos out and says, no thanks. Oh, but Tim just says, please come get your wraiths. And Joe says, nah, actually I didn't want those things. I smell a big red guy.
what does a big red guy smell like? That's my question.
We'll have to ask Joe because he just smelt it, so he'll let us know, I think, after this.
The counter jungling Ornn through the team money, about to take away a second camp, stealing his red buff away. Obviously, the passive health regen is so insane.
And then after taking the red, he says, you know what, I'm going to do some shopping, and just starts smacking his thing. Okay, and now the blue is also taken. This is when it feels real bad to be a jungler, when your camps are just being taken everywhere.
It's like he's left with the consolation prize of what, like Crocs?
Yeah, I gotta get my Crocs up. Meanwhile, Tim has almost a 2-level XP lead on Malphite. Malphite did just hit level 10. Kind of rough. No real winning lanes for the devs, so CWG definitely in a strong position here. Other than the bot lane, I guess. Yeah, my bad, I forgot about that one. But other than that, the 2 solo lanes and the jungler are both pretty even. DV ult, but Flash with a really nice flash out. Very well timed. But ADOD, he's sitting there ulting, and Joe shows up, drops the ult. Not going to be enough, though. Looks like Joe is going to go down, and Tim just tanking this tower, taking no damage. But Venom and Red Ranger show up, drop the ultimate. The heal is blown, but Vi does die, and now he's got the red buff. I think he can chase Tim down here. Oh, but Flash of Night with a long-range Q takes the trade. And meanwhile, Jinx and Seraphine taking the bot tower and trying to catch up a little bit on that golden XP lead that they were behind on.
And the Thresh actually picked up Orange Shutdown, which is just so unfortunate, right? That's 600 gold going into Thresh's pockets instead of one of the crucial carries like the Swain or the MF that you want to see carrying the game, while the Vex was able to pick up the MF shutdown. Or does she have a shutdown gold there? I don't think so.
MF
Nothing
did
noticeable.
Have a shutdown. Vex picked it up. It
yeah,
was,
I
think an extra 300 gold or 400 gold. Maybe
an
not.
Extra 400? I don't.
Maybe I'm tripping actually.
I don't know. I'm looking at chat. It usually
nah, you're right.
in chat.
Yeah, it was just the 300 for onto the Vex.
I
Still
mean,
a good pickup for the Vex.
In exchange for like a losing play, basically, then they actually traded the bot tower. Yeah, but just gifted over to Kuroi and Ty's Pool.
And that whole fight was without their bot lane there, so be interesting to see what happens when the Jinx and the Seraphine are actually in the fight here for this next drag. Boise Q's in, gets a little caught out potentially. ADOD trying to hit Tim, but realizes the futility of living very quickly. It doesn't get his ult off, doesn't get anything out, just gets knocked up, knocked back, smacked out.
ADOD just felt the epitome of blue side diff. Just getting CC'd to death, like not even able to move. The only movement that happened there was getting knocked around by CWG.
Yeah, I think that was like 3 seconds of him not moving of his own volition and just getting blown away with the wind until he was dead. And then that kind of secures the Drake for CWG. Orin dropping the ult, hits the MF. Meanwhile, the Seraphine ult also just deletes the already dead MF. Venom XP just kind of has to walk away here. And this turret looks like it's going to go down. Vi looking for a Q in, hits the Venom, instantly bursts him down. Swain does have his ult still because he didn't get a chance to use it last time, but walks into some traps, gets rooted. Malphite TP comes in, throws his Q, and walks away. Everybody leaves, and CWG gets the definite advantage from that series of events.
Absolutely, and the Vex at this point 5-0, absolute monster right now. Probably about to go and finish Shadow Flame, potentially picking up another kill and some more farm. At least the Hextech Alternator, actually, yep, just completed Shadow Flame. So that's a 2-item Vex to the 1 and some change item Swain, which is just not what you want to see at all, right?
Yeah.
The Vex obviously meant to dive backlines, but you can't really shy away from her potential to be a backliner herself and kind of just like burn down tanks doing chunks of damage at a time.
Yeah, it really feels like when a Vayne gets ahead, they stay ahead. And the Swain keeps trying to 1v on the Orin, but he went Everfrost over the whatever Majora's Mask.
Leandrews.
So he doesn't really do any damage to the Orin. So I'd like to see him maybe not do that, but
yeah, I don't know. I actually think that that's like a game-losing buy, if I'm honest. I feel like the percentage HP damage is so big.
Yeah, and they already have a lot of lockdown without the Swain having Everfrost, so I don't think it was necessarily the right pick, but you know, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Another red buff, not going to the red side. Poor Joe. And now blue side is CLG is in prime position to just sneak out this dragon. Seraphine goes for an ultimate, but Malphite said, sorry, I'm going this way actually, not that way, and just walks out. Swain is bot. He does not have teleport, he has Ghost Flash, so he's walking up, but oh, Flash of Night just instantly deletes the MF, but he gets ulted, he gets knocked up, and he may just be dying here. Yeah, J4 has to ult. Vex still lived for about 25 minutes.
So many
the Baron is almost dead.
resources. Just so many resources had to be used for the Vex, just to kill her after having her one-shot your only carry, who's able to do anything in these fights, it feels like, and it really just feels like,
if you check the chat log also, it looks like another 950 gold bounty goes to Venom on that kill for the Vex. So
man, he better
Venom,
be rushing CDR right now, all right?
The hard carry of the team is getting the kills, so that's good. IDOD running away from the Vi. Ghost is popped. Does not land the Everfrost, but lands his E. And that's a TP coming in. He just wants to keep running. Luckily, the Ghost keeps him fast enough, and Flasher Knight's TP does not get him killed. But Flasher Knight almost up. I think he wants it. Now we have the bot lane out of CWG just pushing down mid while the other three are all bot. Nice split pressure. They know that they really can't die to anything. I mean, the Thresh is here, pretty scary, but that's about the only big threat. The Vi gets hooked out of Q, but then Venom kind of gets punched by Big Fist Lady and gets to go back home.
I mean, the Vex was allowed to just ult onto the Malphite and wasn't able to be punished at all because, you know, like, if the MF turns around to start auto-attacking, then Vi just presses R. Like,
yeah,
there's nothing that is actually able to be done by this MF, which is
Vi still has ult, and Ornn ult is up very soon. Granted, all the ults are up for the devs right now, but they're not going to be making a play in anytime too soon before those ults are back up for CWG. Tim just bonking up top tower. Malphite throws the ult down, says, nah, you don't get away that easily. But Tim says, I would like to. Drops the ult. Joe misses, but drops the ult on to T-Money. T-Money almost one-shots Red Ranger. Red Ranger forced a flash, but Ornn is ghosting. Malphite just dying to the Sunfire burn. That's 18 ults, 17 flashes. GV still goes down to the Ornn. Ornn just lying on top of the Shamrock Rock.
And that is what I would call blue side diff if I've ever seen one.
I would not disagree with that. That was
that champion's so insane, man. Oh, look at me. I'm a tank who has no damage built. I'm a one-shot your ADC. Haha.
Yeah, I think Sunfire just needs to be nerfed. That weapon is, or that item's so broken. But if you look at the difference here, Sunfire of the Malphite has done 393 damage. The Sunfire from Ornn has done 1960 damage. So probably more damage than some players this game. All out of just the one tank item built by a big scary red goat.
That is one very scary red goat. Like he's 1v4 and killing one person, almost killing two. Like that's just absolutely absurd.
He is level 14. He's got 3 or 2.5 items completed. He's shopping from mid lane. I mean,
fallen sacrifice.
This guy's got it all.
To the Jinx, like absolutely.
And he also made like 3 people flash, 3 ults, and he's still almost got the double kill. Very scary champion. Unfortunately, he does not get blue side next game. Tyus Cool says, okay, maybe I don't want this, and walks away a little bit. But here soon, they will be wanting it. Looks like Vi's walking up into the Jarvan, gets knocked up, but also gets the Q damage off. Malphite's here, but Ornn is also here, and so Slam pops the ult, but Ornn ults. Oh, and then the charm comes out, lands on 4 people. The Semi-Hack ults. AMF ult only hitting the, what do you call it, but then the Flash of Night with the fat fear on like 4 of them. Red Ranger says, yeah, I'm going to run away and preserve my KD a little bit. You guys do what you need to do.
I mean,
that was like the wombo combo that this team was all planned for. The Vex.
The crazy thing is that Ornn actually missed his entire combo. Yeah, he R2'd early, and then he didn't his E was not against any kind of terrain, so he basically just E'd through to do damage.
Yeah, on the plus side, Orange Sunfire, that fight did as much as Malphite Sunfire has done all game, so pretty balanced, in my opinion. Giuseppe Hack going in, trying to defend, but it's not going to be enough, and blue side wins again, and now it is 2-2. Going into the Game 5, Silver Scrapes once again in the playoffs for the blue side.
Man, I want red side to win just once, okay? Like,
All right, we heard it
just
here first,
please,
folks.
just
We
please.
have a CWG winner wanter. Dang, I just lost 1,000 points on that. Man, I don't think I won a bet like in 2 weeks.
It feels so pointless. Like, look at this game. Blue side wins again. Let's go.
Yeah, it's we'll have to see what happens in this fifth and final game, and if the blue side or the red side can take it. With that, I think we'll just be waiting until the teams are ready for draft.
Welcome back to Game 5 draft, where we're really excited to see blue side win once again.
Yeah, it should be a very interesting draft. All of this matters. It's very important. It's not just the side of the map that wins, okay? We swear.
So, already starting off, Kale Van, Echo Van, just like every other game that we've seen.
Oh,
The
and
Vi
deja vu all
actually
over
being
again.
banned from the side of the devs, which is, I think, pretty smart. Obviously, CWG, both of their games that they've won have been with Vi, but it's also been on blue side. So the Akali ban once again from CWG, and then the Nocturne ban again from the devs. So the Azir is actually still up for Flash of Night, and we'll see if he decides to pick that up in the first round.
Yeah, I know he's been really liking the Azir lately. So we'll have to see what happens. Wouldn't be surprised if we see it. I'm just gonna bet my points right now. I don't need to see anything. The Jinx man coming out of CWG. Yes, it's a prio pick for them, but they are also afraid of it. We'll see if the maybe Tristana gets picked early, and then, or maybe the MF again. But I think the Tristana's pretty good.
So I'm
And that is the
currently
Tristana pick, and we'll see if the Ashe gets picked. MF looks like an MF pick. My bad. So MF on CWG side now didn't look too great on the dev side, but I mean it did well in lane, but I don't know. I mean it wasn't really a bot lane diff that game. The Seraphine MF actually a very nice combo.
I
See what the
absolutely
Tristana gets
agree.
paired with. Maybe another Thresh, which is also a sick combo. Any hook can be lethal.
I think that the Blitzcrank. Oh,
Blitzcrank, the Thresh 2.0. Is that Blitzcrank jungle? Giuseppe has been practicing it on his Smurf account. I have watched it. He's got about 68 games played with a 59% win rate in low plat on his Smurf on the Blitzcrank jungle. What are we thinking?
I don't know. I mean, he's on blue side, so I think he could definitely do it. I think that
True.
Giuseppe has actually claimed that it's Blitz jungle, but then the Kindred pick right after.
So the Kindred, I've actually been watching Venom. He's got a 93% win rate over 22 games in low gold on Kindred support. What do you think?
Um, I mean, Kindred's pretty. Wait, what role?
No, I'm just kidding. So I don't like the Kindred pick, to be honest, like this early, especially since you're leaving Ornn open. Like, just pick Ornn. Just pick Ornn. Stop having an ego. Pick Ornn, you win the game. Especially they already have Seraphine MF. Just pick Ornn.
I
But looks
think
like the devs have big plans. Malphite, Trundle, both banned out. What will he pick into Ornn? I'm foreseeing a Pantheon pick here. What do you think?
I think that he should play Trundle. Oh, Trundle
Trundle
just got
is
banned.
banned.
Never mind.
So is
I think that he should
Mordekaiser.
play something that's able to kind of like abuse Bork and Sunderer at the
Yeah,
same time.
I've never seen David play a champion that can build either of those items. Well, he plays Pantheon, who he does build the early whatever thing you said, Blade the Rune King, but I don't think Pantheon's picking Ornn. I would love to see a Fiora, but I don't think he's that type of top laner.
I
So
mean, he could
either
just play Garen.
the
Uh,
Volibear, Wujin's Volibear. I have it on good authority that he has studied my VODs for about 17 hours of Volibear gameplay, so expect him to do great things.
I
Ooh, the
think that.
Silas Shin. I like that.
All right, yeah, I do actually like it as well. Obviously, the Silas able to steal away from some very strong team fight ults, but he can only steal away one, and there's three of them on the side of CWG.
It's true, but the Shin, the global ability to be there is so nice. The Blitzcrank Tristana is such good pick potential. Uh, yeah, I mean, even Silas stealing like a Volibear ult and going for a bot lane tower dive, pretty nice. The Azir does get picked up by Ben. I know he's been practicing it. Let's see how he does. Unfortunately, he got it on a red side, so we know what that means. Wait, did I get an invite to the game? Oh, I did. Yeah, never mind. Oh, Ty is cool. He used to be the Blitz god, so he won't be getting hooked too much. Predictions?
I think he's getting hooked every time.
My bad. Wait, I could be. I could play or.
So once again, we're going into game, and I mean, blue side just wins, right? Like, obviously, I do like CWG's draft more. Um, Obviously, I think that if I was gonna switch any of the picks, I would put Silas instead of Azir for CWG. I think that would make it a lot stronger. But of course, Silas was picked up before the Azir was picked. But I do think that they do have plenty of damage on the side of CWG this game, especially seeing the Ornn pick from last game. Very abusive into the Malphite, but again, this time he's into a Shen who's able to kind of duel a little bit better than
Yeah,
the
unfortunately
Malphite.
though, I've been seeing Shin's build Frozen Fist lately. And Sunfire is like 12 times the item that Frostfire Gauntlet will ever be.
Okay,
So just
hear me out.
building that item is
Hear me out. All right. So I used to play Shen top, and I used to build Sunderer, Hullbreaker, Titanic Hydra.
Hmm.
Disgustingly broken. All right.
So I would
Like
actually love to see a Divine Sunder out of the Shin. I think
I
that would be
think
pretty nasty.
I think that it could actually work extremely well into the Ornn. Of course, like right after he'd probably want to build tank, but I think that if he went Sunder Titanic, then he could actually be a major split push threat. Hull Breaker, he doesn't really have to build that, but if he went
Yeah.
that Sunder and then built something like the Spirit Visage, um, he's gonna be sustaining like as much as the Volibear will be, right? Like it's
Hear me out.
absolutely absurd.
Sunder, Wits End, Shin top this game.
Wits End? Ooh,
Hmm.
I don't know.
Gotta be
That's
goaded.
that's quite the buy.
Yeah, exactly. I'm telling you, my brain's too big for this world. That's why my head's so big. But
Dude, you
not
wanna talk
expecting
about
it.
a dude, I have a big ass head, like
Okay, okay.
comically large.
Yeah, we can compare at the next La Liga meetup, and we'll find out the true big head.
Are you actually going to that, like, world spectate party?
Oh yeah, and everyone else should. And make sure you buy your tickets from the link posted in the announcements, and buy some raffle tickets, support the prize pool, and get some chances to win some nice prizes, including $100 mouse.
I will
I will
actually
see you guys
I'll
there.
be there. Not very many people know who I am, except for those who played in season 2,
Oh, I know
but
who you are.
yeah, I will actually be there as well. I'm flying in for some personal business, and I'll actually be able to make it.
Dang. Okay, that's sick. See, even more reason to be there. You'll meet our intrepid caster, Sunny Blues Fateless, and you'll get the chance to ask somebody uh, who or where the La Liga meetup is, and that's just worth it in and of itself. With
And
that, we got about 3 minutes until this game starts in the fifth and final game of CWG versus the Devs. Welcome to Game 5 of CWG versus the Devs. Once again, we have a red side 5-man invade, but also matched by the blue side 5-man invade in the opposite lanes. Who will come out victorious? We'll find out.
It's gonna be blue side, but you can solo cast for a minute. I'm ordering a pizza.
Oh, this guy's getting famished in this 5-game series. Can't blame him. I had to eat game 2. These teams are both probing around looking for something they will never find. But we'll see what these teams decide to do after finding that out. Looks like the bot lane for Crocs with Glocks has learned their lesson from last game and decided to just drop a recall instead of losing a bunch of XP. Giuseppe Hack drops a W. Not sure what's up with that. The Crocs with Glock pinged out that they have vision in the pixel brush, but they don't. So bad comms from Crocs with Glocks already. It's like both teams starting bot side for the jungle. Red Ranger kind of half AFK. I don't know if the game 5 is getting to him. Oh no, this red's gonna reset. Don't let it happen. Giuseppe Hack just shooting that thing away. Meanwhile, Volibear, oh, his blue buff's warded, so they know that he's on it. Giuseppe Hack, wonder if he's gonna go Red Wraith's Gromp into blue. No, he's going level 2 to fight a Volibear, or go for a gank commit or something. Maybe he just wants to take the scenic route. DV, Tim, just kind of trading damage. ADOD taking a little bit of a tower shot here early. Ty is cool, and Kuroi just playing very far back. Don't want to get hooked. Don't blame him. DV taunts in. Trades are going a little bit better this game for DV in the early game, but ADOD taking a little bit of the Azir damage. Actually heard that Ben's been training under Sanchovies on the Azir, so let's see if that pays off. Kindred looking for, he took the red, looking for a little bit of a gank on this Ornn, but it's just gonna fall back to the Krugs, but he knows the Volibear should be coming. Might be a little bit risky. Volibear just walking down mid. Bot lane gets hooked, but just walks out. Takes pretty good damage on Kuroi though. Volibear going to the blue buff of the devs, and this poor Kindred might be in for a little bit more than he can chew. But at least he gets his mark on the way in, so that's pretty nice. However, he does not get his blue buff. Oh, Flash of Night rotating. He's not going to get his mark either, and he might actually find a one-way ticket back to the fountain. Tim also walking down. ADOD showing up, but maybe a little bit too late. A couple flashes blown. Volibear gets the first blood, but now that's a 2-for-1 in favor of the devs so far. And Flash of Night, pretty low mana. And Flash comes out of both DV and Flash of Night, but then not much more follow-up here. So that's about the end of those escapades. Volibear does get the first blood, but at what cost? And I think Joe got a stack off that, so he's already at the same amount of stacks he was up 23 minutes in his previous Kindred game. So not a bad.
Just an update from my end. The pizza store's closed, so I'm really sad.
No, our intrepid co-caster here is going to starve, and it's all your fault. Volibear going straight for this mark, but DV also wants to make sure that his jungler gets that mark. Both junglers have smite, but one of them is a little bit better at smiting than the other, and unfortunately it's not Joe. And now this 3v2, not looking great for the VP. ADOD in lane, gonna maybe poke and prod at this Volibear, but not commit to anything. And now Volibear is getting his third. That was a kill for Red Ranger, Kuroi very low on mana, but both of the bot laners for the devs very low on health. Volibear in the bot side. A lot of action so far. 200 gold lead for the blue side team. And 1 kill up. A little bit of trade action going on in the mid lane. ADOD kind of trading evenly. Has double buffs though, so kind of wants to keep doing these short trades with his W. And Kindred just farming, Volibear just farming. A lot of farming going on this game. Uh-oh. Oh, ADOD not tanking the tower. Gets his ultimate though, but doesn't look to do anything quite yet. Interesting thing to note, top lane, exactly even in CS. Mid lane, exactly even in CS. 28, 28, 28, 28 across the board. Now it's 30, 30, 28, 28. That was pretty cool to see. Tristana and MF very close in CS, but obviously Tristana has a kill, so a little bit in favor of them. Kindred looking to potentially take this dragon away, and Volibear is topside, so they can't do anything to stop it. And Shin just has to dash away from this trade because it's an Ornn player, so you can't do much to that. Fat away for ADOD in mid. And Kindred looking for the lane gank. We'll see if anything comes out of this. 44 to 26 CS in the jungle. Kindred is just standing on a ward, unfortunately, without knowing it. So probably not going to get anything done there. But they were looking for a play with the Shin ult, I think. Just not going to happen. Silas walking down. Looks like it could be a dragon for the devs. But they want to go back for the lane gank again instead, so. Nice little push. Ornn walking at ADOD. ADOD has the Azir ultimate already, so he can't take the Ornns, and Ornn can go unstoppable and walk right through that wall if he times it right. Shin kind of realizes something's going on, but ADOD goes straight in. Somehow he... Okay, that was Flash of Knights, and then the perfect ult and taunt from the Shin, but it might not be enough. Josephag is there, but he's only level 5, and that is an Ornn ultimate to secure the kill on Silas. Volibear runs away with 7 health. Oh, so unfortunate. And now T-Money just walking at the Kindred and smacking him straight to Fountain.
Another update. The other pizza place is open. Let's go.
Let's go. Our boy doesn't have to starve.
Let's go. All right. A loss already happened 8 minutes into this game. 8 kills have been dropped. No neutral objective has been taken. Neither team wants to risk it, but yeah, of course, so much fighting's been going on anyways.
Only a 200 gold lead. Nice hook from Venom lands on to Kuroi and secures the kill while the Seraphine has to walk away and go the long way around. Now, bot lane, both level 6 for the devs, both level 5 for CWG. Meanwhile, bit of a gold lead for ADOD over Flash of Night, but not by a lot. And DV for VP going in for a little bit trade again.
I really do like to see the Shen trading very heavy into this Ornn. Obviously, he has very strong early trades that are very short, and there's not very much that you can do against it sometimes. You know, obviously Shen has a shield, has a taunt.
I think he can even block the auto attack for the brittle passive.
Oh yeah, he can.
So that's pretty nice. Kindred just opts to go for the Rift Herald as his mid lane has Prio and Ornn had to recall. So pretty nice reading of the map there and taking advantage of the situation. But Volibear is in the area, so it could be that he takes too long and Volibear gets to show up. Shin does get to rotate first, and so does ADOD. We'll see. This might be a little bit of a smite fight again. We saw how the last one turned out. Flash of Night getting cut out by ADOD. I didn't even see who got that. Okay, Josephag did secure the smite. And now Volibear chasing this man down like a dog. drops his ultimate, but Joe also has his ult to probably just get out. Flashes out instead of queuing over the wall, doesn't trust his instincts. EV gets him F-ulted. This is a 5v2 here. The IDOD does have the Volibear ult, so he's not too afraid. Gets charmed, ults away, and now Boise tanking tower for Tim. But meanwhile, bot lane, we'll see how much tower damage Tristana gets to get. This is a 5-man.
So
IDOD
much.
just disrespectful, just walking straight in, does not fear this 5-man stack. And gets out.
There's so many resources being tossed onto that fight to get nothing out of it, really, except for obviously recalls out of Giuseppe and DB4, but they lose
now
2 plates bot lane.
CWG's kind of overstaying their tempo here if blue side wants to go for it, but it looks like they do not want to walk into this, even though they have no real ultimates for CWG, but it looks like Joe just really wants to get his 4th stack before 30 minutes to this game.
I mean, yeah, I think that's a pretty good decision to make. Obviously, he's on blue side, so he should be able to. He should have been able to
walk into a
use
bear
that last game.
Yeah, he should be able to get it about twice the pace, being on the good side of this game.
I mean, he was on the good side last game, but
oh yeah,
he was just getting hard carried by his mid laner, the classic.
True. And now once again, the Sylas and the Tristana both with an advantage, but the jungler and the top for the devs both at a disadvantage. So let's just see if this bot lane. Okay, that flash is coming out from the bot lane supports. Oh man, nice reactions. Ty School did say he's the Blitzcrank god and will never get hooked, so I guess he's proving his point right now. Meanwhile, Kindred and Volibear both farming top side of the jungle. And Seraphine MF say, yeah, Kindred, you're not getting a stack. We will take it. But we don't care if we lose our tower for it. We didn't want that tower anyway. IDOD going in for the 1v2 though, and Giuseppe getting caught out by Flash of Night. He has no ult, no flash. Shin ult does come through, and he lives just long enough for the Shin to be there, which is actually really big. Flash of Night hourglasses, but just immediately dies. Tristana shows up in the back, but he doesn't know that he just jumped into a Volibear. But Volibear doesn't want it. He's scared. Runs away, and Triss just auto-attacking as much as he can on the way out. Much ado over a Gromp. And now the Gromp's up, but the Kindred is not, so cannot collect that mark anyway. And now Orin gets to get a few plates of his own and a little bit of a lead on the CS department. Shin dropping the TP on the tower. Tim forced to back up. And Volibear does not go for the Gromp, but I think it's bot lane will get there in time. But Joe cannot take it. If you're looking for this Azir, such a hard gank to ever pull off though. But he does have Herald, he's just looking to drop that and get some plates before Herald runs out, I guess. Makes sense.
It's more, I think the plates run out. I don't know what Herald was at, but plates do drop in about 40 seconds, so we'll see him just drop that for the free gold.
Yep, and then he's forced to not contest the race, which is pretty smart, very well calculated by him to not overstay for that. Oh, looks like a 2k gold lead for the devs thanks to that first tower grab, but that kind of, I mean, they did also get a lot of plates here compared to the devs. Devs got about 4 plates compared to 7. Now Blitzcrank Tristana looking for the Ornn. They find him, but I don't know if... okay, he does not go unstoppable for the hook, but he does just instantly knock this Tristana up. Gets blasted back, but oh, the flash straight in the line, and the Azir shows up, and Red Ranger with no jump out, and the 2v2 not looking great for them.
Ornn damage.
Yeah, bit of a weird play to go for. I mean, at the best there, you get to kill the Ornn, but you have no Shin ult, you have no teammates, you don't see a lot of their teammates. Doesn't seem really worth it. Joe going for the 1v1 on the Volibear, but just getting run down and absolutely demonicked on. He does pop his ult. We'll see. It looks like the Shin will be able to save him. He dashes in a straight line into the Seraphine ult, and that is going to kill him. And now DV trying to walk out, gets very much CC'd. Boise still has his ult for this tower. They go for the dive, shut down the tower, and DV is dead. But AdioD solos the Ornn in the top lane, gets a shutdown gold. Very strong.
At that point though, right, gold is basically evened up, right? You know, there's a very small lead in favor of blue side, but at this point in the game, we're looking like, you know, blue side advantage might not be quite enough all the time.
Yeah, it looks like, you know, some of these players might be getting tired. At the end of a 5-game series, it really is hard to stay as focused as you could have been. And then at that point, it kind of becomes like the easier to pilot team players and comps, or champions and comps, become a lot more favorable. But the Silas is still looking fresh. And the dragon is spawning soon, but looks like the devs are just going to go for this Rift Herald, and it's going to be uncontested, but they might be giving up the dragon for this, which would be the second dragon in favor of CWG. Roy is very low.
I do think that this, whatever soul it is, it will be a huge factor in the game.
Either Mountain or Infernal are both very strong, right. And
so
this might be a bad time for a Red Ranger. Jumps out, okay, gets the Azir ult and the Ornn ult and Boise's flash. Not a bad trade, even if he dies. Shin does ult for that, but does not finish. And now looks like this dragon might be going for CWG.
That is
even with all the resources blown.
That is a very accurate representation of what playing ADC feels like. I can confirm.
Yeah.
Watching ADCs die all the time.
I mean, walking. It's like what playing a support looks like. You back up and say, hey, don't go that way, and then your ADC says, nah, I'm good, and walks right through and dies.
I mean, to be fair though, that's, what was that, like 3 ults and a flash committed straight to Red Ranger?
No, I mean, it's true. It is painful to experience. I have been on the receiving end of that as a jungler as well. But it looks like it's going to be Hextech Dragon, which is... I mean, if the devs can turn these dragons around and get 4 of these and get the soul, that's going to be pretty big for them. But, you know, they'll have to figure out what they're doing wrong in order to actually...
The devs are actually still in the lead by about 2k due to turret pushes, which is completely due to their blue side advantage. So, I would not say that they're out of the game by any means. Obviously, they're technically in the lead, but with 2 dragons already in the pocket of CWG, I think that they have a much higher chance of getting the soul, obviously. And then...
Nice TP. Tim realizes that there's no CC left for him, and so he just TPs out and goes to safety. Although, honestly, just having seen what he's been doing, he probably could have just killed them both instead, but, you know, I respect
I mean, quite possibly, honestly, like...
Herald dropped and only Ornn to defend here in the spot lane. And it is a bit of a precarious position to only be up on turret lead, or turret gold, because, you know, those turrets are still sitting there for the red side to pick up. And if they once they start getting their pushes off, that gold lead will shrink very quickly. Venom misses his ult, or his hook, but Flash of Night takes that to go for the hook. And Boise does show up, and everybody just gets knocked up, knocked back, knocked out. Seviak drops his ult, but it's not going to be enough, and he goes down without taking anybody with him. But they do exchange a mid tower there for it, which is, you know, not the end of the world. And Volibear hunting down the Tristana. Gets the blue smite off, but a little bit of a jumpy action. Oh, but he jumps back with him. Oh, and actually Red Ranger dropped his ult while Boise was unstoppable there. So he no longer has his ult to use in this fight. And but the Shin ult does scare away CWG. They really need to be fighting with the Silas. Silas is like their only really fed strong player right now, but it's going to be hard. Volibear has no ult for this next fight if it's happening soon. Injured with 2 marks at 19 minutes, not bad. Boise just plays with no fear, just staring him down. running straight in for the 1v3 with no ultimate. They are all so afraid of him, though. They feel like his team must be closer than they are. No hook. Oh, and then Venom throws the hook and lands on the horn. Very unfortunate. Red Ranger getting chased down. Giuseppe kind of doing a little bit of nice kiting here, but Red Ranger does go down. Silas out of the fight, just kind of running away.
All of that for 1 kill. That's wild. There were just so many like cooldowns blown, so much damage done from the sides of CWG that seeing only 1 kill him out from that, it's just such good disengage from the devs.
Yeah, it's true, but it's
Of course, you don't want to see the Blitzcrank ever pulling the Ornn ever again.
yeah, that was very unfortunate. I think they were really respecting the Volibear, probably a little too much there. I mean, I understand you don't have vision of the other teammates; they might just be right around the corner. But I mean, I think really the devs' only chance is to stop team fighting and just keep doing their split push thing. They're doing a really good job of pressuring these lanes, taking towers. They're giving up objectives, but I mean, you can just steal games away this way, and
Yeah.
these team fights are not going well in their favor.
Another thing to note is that it's actually really hard to kill the Volibear because he's building tank, right? He has Chem Tank completed, just finished Frozen Heart, which according to the #1 Hecarim in the world or something like that, is a very troll item to build. But
Really?
that's for different people to decide. I think that is good into some teams. Double ADC and a Silas, not the worst item that you could buy, but obviously if they build LDR, then the armor is just like kind of useless.
Yeah, I think Frozen Heart's a little OP actually. They just nerfed it, in fact. But I think it's still pretty good. By Shin shoving out top. Looks like they're just conceding this dragon, but or they're trying to go for this Baron in response, but the devs or CWG said, well, we'll just 4v5 you guys and have Volibear take the dragon. He'll show up eventually. The Ornn ult from ADOD hits nothing but the Ornn, who's just still at full health. And meanwhile, Volibear is just 20-minute smacking this dragon, and he'll get it eventually. Don't you worry.
Eventually, I mean, he's full tank, so obviously he's very slow at taking it. But commenting on Frozen Heart, I actually think that it is a straight counter build to a couple characters in particular. There's obviously the Callista, whose attack speed and move speed are kind of together. So if you build Frozen Heart, then she's kind of immobile.
Okay, Salas has no ult for this fight, so he's not. Oh, Tristana tries to jump in 1v5. Kindred ult comes down to stall the inevitable, but ADOD and Kindred both, and now that's a 1,000 gold shutdown, or 350, so 650 gold shutdown for who got it? Volibear. So Boise
What
just
did I just watch?
fed and fed. It's now a 1k gold lead for the devs.
I just like I
dragons.
blinked and Tristana was standing next to the Ornn.
Yeah, he tried to jump in 1v5 and instantly delete the MF. I mean, I guess I respect it, but
Yeah, respect for the balls.
Right up PayPal. Okay, Ornn might actually be dying here, which is pretty big. Flash of Night may also fall. He gets taunted. Red Ranger tries to jump, but I don't know, man. That tower's too big for him. And he doesn't get the jump off, but Shin does die in exchange for the Azir, and now this Baron goes to CWG. 1k gold lead for CWG, which is kind of surprising. I mean, they're 8 kills up. You'd expect it to be a little bit more of a gold lead, but
yeah, they do have tier 2s down. 2 tier 2s, healthy CS leads in 2 of the roles, mid and ADC, and obviously it's also about the timing of when they took the turrets. Both of the outers, mid and bot, I'm pretty sure both fell within 14 minutes, giving all 5 minutes over.
They had 8 plates total, I think, before the 14.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's still a lot of gold, though.
It definitely is, yeah. It's almost 1,200. But yeah, it's kind of feeling rough if you're the devs right now. You're probably trying to just figure out, like, okay, what are we doing wrong, and what can we do to change that right now, and see if they figure it out.
That's all they need to do. Do not 5v5
Yeah, I kind
CWG's
of agree with
comp.
that.
It's
They're
insane.
they're doing a whole lot of 5v5ing against a team that really wants to 5v5 them. Boise just standing there, stuns ADOD, and Tyus Cool is there to back him up. ADOD takes the Volibear ult, pretty good ult for him, but he's in about to be about 5v1 situation. Dashes out. Oh, does not drop his ult to go unstoppable. Can't jump over that wall. Boise ults right on top of him. Shin ult comes in, but they both get mowed down with the bullet rain. And
All 5 of CWG's ults blown.
yeah, and that looks
Obviously,
like a
they
little.
did kill 2 people. They have Baron up. They will be more than likely be able to take this inhib away. Orange just kind of walking down, not caring about tower damage. So
Yeah, and I mean they might even go for a little bit more than just that, but they really don't need to. I think that longer the game goes, they're pretty solidly in control. But the Kindred ult very early thinks that he's getting engaged on, but unfortunately they just pressed S and did not engage. Get the Blitzcrank, get the Kindred, and now even with the respawns, it's about a 5v3. And the Nexus does go down. Game 5, red side wins. CWG is moving on, and the devs are joining Women Respecters and company in the losers queue.
yes, red side for the
Red side
first
did it.
time. I think
Their
this is
dream.
the first red side win I've seen this entire time.
It's definitely one of very few. Um, Crocs with Glocks definitely pulled it together in that last game, and they showed that they wanted it more. I guess. Very uh, well played to the devs. They have just had a lot of really good games, and their team has come together a lot over this season. And I think both teams played really well. Crocs with Glocks just showed that their team was a little bit better.
And we will see about doing an interview here shortly. So
Oh, we are being told to keep talking.
once again,
Getting yelled at by production.
CWG wins. Red side won for the first time I think I've seen in my entire time casting this season. Obviously, I came and joined late, but
Wait, you did what when Red Side won? Okay, chill, bro. This is a PG stream. We're trying to
yo,
get
whoa,
sponsors.
whoa, you're right. My bad. Uh,
Looks like we're trying to get a custom game together too for anybody interested. While we wait for this interview,
I'm
maybe
totally down.
lobby up for the custom.
Somebody invite me.
Because see, some teams are respectful enough to start their best of fives at 5 p.m. instead of 9 p.m. so that they're done at a reasonable time. And for that, you gotta love CWG. And one other thing to point out, Josepiak did just fly back into town today. So he does the best of five after flying in. He does the best of five after flying out. This man must have been super tired. Very nicely done by him to be able to have the mental fortitude to even keep going.
I don't know why he's flying anywhere, but I hope it's because his sugar mama's paying him to. You know, obviously.
I heard that's why actually. He said it
Good
was to see
choice.
sights, but I heard it was his sugar mama paying him. All right, we're gonna. All right, here we are with the interview. Proton Plat player, tell us, what do you think about what just happened? Oh, Proton Plat player has told me that he's not speaking, but it sounded like him when he said it, so I don't know what happened.
Hello.
Oh shit, we
With
got Ty is cool.
why?
Hello.
Yeah,
Yeah.
get out of here, brother. All right, Ty is cool. Is a troll.
Oh.
Uh, So we have the captain of CWG, Timothy T Money Money, uh, with the convincing Orin performance. Now, some might say that you are one of the most vocal Ornn haters in all of the tournament, and yet you have debased yourself into playing Ornn for your wins. How do you feel about the victories that you achieved this day?
Okay, I'm just saying we played against Orin and we won.
Okay, Ornn was on the team of CWG 3 times this series. What do
It
you have?
was. Well, the first game, we're just gonna try to throw him for a loop, try to get a
Yeah, it was a
favorable
good
top
strategy.
lane
I liked
matchup.
it.
It was
Hmm.
a little bit of a bamboozling. Can't
How'd that work out?
I not great, but
Oh yeah, okay, okay.
that's
fair.
okay. We're feeling our opponents out, trying to take red side, trying to figure out what they thought was strong, and
But
um,
then after that, every time you picked Ornn, it was a potential flex pick. They never knew what you were throwing at them.
that's right, that's right. You just never know.
However, you played it twice. You never played a carry top laner, unless you count
Yes.
Mordekaiser, I guess. I just want to know how you sleep at night.
I don't actually.
Oh, okay, that's
My
fair.
eyes don't close ever.
Actually, I believe that. I've seen you on very late at night. Well, obviously you guys won. I'm sure that you're feeling really good. Describe to me what the comms were like in that last game going into it, and then as the game progressed.
We well, there were some very abusable early game plays made by the Kindred that we kind of just squatted up and just ran at. I discovered that it was a really effective strategy against them to just get level 6 and run around the map like an absolute psychopath.
Oh, I
And
did see
I
you guys
just
doing that.
yeah, I just kind of started doing that, and we started getting a lot of dragons, and Giuseppe just couldn't get any marks. So
Yeah,
it
you
was working
guys,
for us. We just kind of
you
kept doing what worked.
you did a great job of denying the kindred marks both times it was picked. It was past 25 minutes for him to get his fourth mark on the first game. I don't think he made it past 2 on the second game. All right, Sunny Blues, you got any questions? Let's go.
How does it make you feel getting a victory on red side?
Very good point.
I knew it was possible. I did. We just kind of it's like a chess match. You got to just figure out what their answers to certain picks are. Like get bait them into thinking that they're safe picking something on blue side, and then just slam them with it. We got the blinded Orin. You can't pick Trundle into it, and you're just kind of stuck. You just can't kill this absolute menace. I can just stand there and just press my buttons, and I just don't die.
Yeah,
Really
your
great.
Sunfire was doing just astronomical damages, and very, very interesting item, interesting champion, interesting playstyle, interesting team.
Yeah,
Um,
degenerate is a good word for it, but
yeah, that
you
is
gotta
a
gotta do
word.
what you gotta do.
So how do you feel about how your team played this game? Are you happy with what you guys did? I mean, obviously you
Well,
won,
I'm
but
so glad you asked. Big kudos to my mid laner. He was obviously getting rocked in the first few games in the series.
Mhm,
Patty
mhm,
was taking his comfort pick, just clearing the wave, running around, getting a lot of kills. And we were trying to figure out Jeff for game 3, and Ben just tells me he's like, if I just shove him in, what's he gonna do?
very true.
And we just kept trying to do that. And he still got a lead in game 5. He was getting a lot of kills in those skirmishes, but
Hmm.
lane locking him was a very effective strategy. So big
So,
kudos to Ben for coming up with that. That was not my
uh,
idea.
hey, shout out to Ben. He recognized the weakness in his lane opponent and took advantage of it. I like that. That's what
Absolutely.
you want to see. How do you feel about uh, your game looking forward? Your match against FF, because that is now your final blockade into the grand finals.
That's right. Hey, they beat us once. They put us in losers in the first place, so we
Yeah.
gotta.
So do you have new plans, new strategies? You got it
It's
all.
the
You got them all
grudge
figured out.
match. I think so. I think we got some plans cooking. We got some
Alright.
stuff that you're gonna want to stay tuned for.
How do you feel about the people who accuse you of being a substitution abuser? And I've heard it said that you guys and I quote, 50 cal loses those. How do you feel about people who say such things?
Well, I think they're coping, but all I'm gonna say about that is we operated well within the confines of the system, and
we have not done anything illegal
I
or
think
criminal.
I think the power level of our team has not adjusted significantly
Yeah,
after the substitution.
Yeah, I
I
think
think we
Wujin
may be
is just a
stronger in
coper.
different
At least that's
areas,
that.
but I think overall teams remain pretty consistent. We've improved a lot over the season. My
Yeah, I think a
individual
lot of the
players have
teams
gotten a lot
have.
better at working together, figuring out like how people want to play, what kind of plays they want to, go for when it's a really bad force. I mean, we were running into a lot of problems with that earlier in the season. We just couldn't really get on the same page with who we wanted to kill, and yeah, but we've worked out a lot of those kinks. I think the team's come together and gotten a lot stronger.
Yeah, I think a lot of teams have really improved over the season, and your team is obviously no uh exclusion to that. And I think you guys, yeah, I mean, it was a really strong showing this match. I think that the Devs were a very strong team, and you showed them that you guys are also a very strong team.
All right.
Sunny Blues, do you have anything else you would like to ask?
No, not really.
Okay.
I just want my food.
Yeah, I think
know
Sunny
that.
Blue's getting a little hungry for some pizza action. Well, it was a very good series to watch, very fun. Love watching two tanks hit each other with frying pans in the head in the top lane.
Heck yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you for coming to the interview, and we look forward to your match against the Froggy Fighters.
Sounds good. See you then.
I think with that, we're gonna call it a day. Everyone, make sure if you haven't got your tickets to the World's Watch Party, you definitely won't want to miss that. Everybody's gonna be there. Everybody who's anybody. And yeah, until then, we look forward to CWG versus Froggy Fighters. And I have been Eldaho. My intrepid co-caster has been Sunny Blues, the Thresh slash Trundle support god himself.
I'm a
And
king.
thank you all for watching and showing up.